Welcome back, guys. I get questions all the time about like my lifestyle here in Las Vegas and what's it like. And people are always confused because I'm like, I don't drink, I don't do any drugs. I go to clubs for maybe 45 minutes, and I get questions about my social circle. And there's been a lot. I've been one of the first guys in this whole space to say men and women should be friends. You should have a ton of female friends. So I wanted to have a show today to talk to some of my closest female friends, my best friend in Las Vegas, and just kind of describe what it's like. And also, they happen to all be four very accomplished professional models. So I decided to have them on the show and answer a lot of questions that I think a lot of you people might be interested in. And she is from Kansas City, Missouri. She's the owner of Legend Models and Talent. Is Kaylan Franca. How you doing, Kaylan?
Good. How are you?
Nice.
Happy to be here.
She's also the owner of multiple dozens of cats. She is from Sinaloa and Tijuana, Mexico. She's a fitness influencer, and she is the owner of several dozen birds. It is Lizzy Acosta. How are you doing, Lizzy?
Hi, Michael. I'm doing great.
Great. Awesome. She is from Slovakia. She's an IFBB pro, a Bikini pro, and she's the owner of Gaia Styles. It's Nikola Weiterova.
Weiterova.
I got it. I've tried it so many times. And she can kick my ass. So like that's what makes it even scarier. And she's also from Slovakia, NPC fitness competitor and owner of Gaia Styles is Andrea. How you doing, Andrea?
Hi, good. Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you guys for all coming out here. I want to talk about this because you brought this up right before we got on here, was the fact that you guys are from very different places and all ended up in Las Vegas. You grew up in Kansas City. You grew up in probably the two most dangerous places I've ever heard of in my entire life. And the two of you grew up in Slovakia. What has been the difference, like you living in Slovakia and then versus coming here? Because I know Eastern European culture is like very different from here.
It is very different. First of all, thanks for having us. We're very happy to be here. Let's compare. There is so much to compare, man. I don't even know where to start. The culture is so different. When you compare Eastern Europe and America, I feel like we have definitely different values and morals. I would start with that. Everything is different. The way we clean, the way we speak, the way we cook, the way we look. So much differences. I think it was 100% crazy for us coming here and moving here from Slovakia. I feel like everyone back home thinks the second your foot touches American ground, everything gonna happen for you, and like you hit the biggest goal and you don't really have to do anything for it anymore. It's just the American dream. Well, little we know, the American dream, or actually the real hard work started when we got here.
Yeah.
The competition, you think you are a pretty girl back home, try to come to America. You have tons of them, So I feel like...
Especially Vegas.
Yeah. Especially Vegas.
All the women come here.
100%. So the relationships, right? That's a kryptonite. Super different comparing to home. Everything is different. You can literally choose a topic. I can talk about it for an hour.
So I think that is one of the things you talk about. I've said this before, and people would disagree with me, but I'm like, no. Per capita, there are more attractive women in Las Vegas than any city in America. Per capita. Yeah. There are definitely more attractive women in all of Los Angeles County. There's 18 million people there, and there's 2 million people here. But if you go out during the week, I'm not talking about the tourists who come in here who have morbid obesity on the fucking weekends. I am talking about during the week. If you go to like industry events, every girl here looks like a fucking NPC. Like you go to Harrah's and some girl will bring you a drink and you're like, how the fuck did she not get hired at Wet Republic? Like it doesn't make any sense. And then you go to Wet Republic and it's like, is this real? Are these real human beings? Is one of the, I remember when I first moved here, and then after living here for a while, you sort of get used to every girl looking like that. And then you go back home, you go to South Texas and like you see like people are fat and like you go back home. I go back to Kansas City, or I go back to fucking Wichita, and I'm like, wow, this is not what the rest of the world looks like. And you totally forget, and it sort of warps and it's not just women here, because I think the men are competitive too. Like the bussers here all look like male models. You know what I'm saying? The security guards are like exceptionally handsome, and then of course we have more male strippers in the city than any other city in the world. So like it's just a very different vibe. But it's like what you said before with the relationships thing is like we have like. You get unrealistic expectations living here sometimes.
Well, I was just thinking about, this was a couple years ago, so it could have changed, but I know there was statistics that came out that there's actually 3 women to every 1 man here. So makes dating a little difficult.
I think in the entertainment industry on the Strip, it's 3 women for every man. Yeah, that's about right.
And it could have changed, but I was like, wow, that makes sense. So no wonder, men don't want to settle down here as much or commit, because there's no reason to.
Yeah.
And until a couple years goes by and you do get tired of it, no matter who you are.
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah, for sure. definitely. You have more. You're one of the few people that I know that have rescued more cats than me. So you had 13 at one point.
A couple of yours are my doing too.
Yes, they are. How many? You have 5 now?
4.
Yeah,
So
4.
we got up to 13. I was fostering and trying to find homes, and then you get attached, especially when they come in sick and disabled, and you nurse them back to health. And we had a lot of space. We had a big house, so it's just like, let that one stay. And finally, we got up to 13. It was like, okay, I think it's time to. But now I'm down to 4. We found homes for a lot of them. So
that is one of the crazy. So I've had 11 so far in my life. And it's one of these things. I've never had a kitten.
Not at once?
No, not at once. I know I'm a loser, but I've never had a kitten because I always go to the whatever rescue places and I ask them like, which is the cat is never going to get rescued? Because Willie, nobody you remember Willie? Nobody wanted Willie because he's 22 pounds and he's angry as shit. And like Willie's my favorite. Like I don't have a favorite cat, but like Willie comes and sleeps with me every day, and like they're very, very difficult to deal with. You rescue birds.
I do. Since I was really young, I always had birds, like all of my life, and I just loved them. So one time when I moved here to Vegas, I went to Petco, PetSmart.
Yeah.
And I saw this little bird, and I was like, oh my God, like I need him. And it was really expensive back then. Well, now it's more expensive. And I wanted just to help him. I wanted to keep him, and he was the best.
Was he all by himself?
Yeah, no, and then I got another one. You met him. Remember?
Which one? I used to babysit them for you when you left
I had
town.
a few sudden, it's really sad, but they passed away.
Yeah. Well, they don't live as long as cats. Like cats will make it indoors.
They do.
They do?
Yeah.
No, it depends on what birds we're talking about.
Depends,
yeah, you're right. Yeah.
The one that I have right now, he's an umbrella cockatoo.
Yeah.
He lives over 85 years.
Yeah, I remember.
Or more, 100.
There is a falcon that lives about 100 years. I can't remember which one it is, but yeah, there's a few that are like that live a long time. But I know some of the smaller birds, I don't think they live.
They live like 15 to 20,
yeah. Cats will go 5 years outdoors and 15 years indoors on average. Dogs, it's a little different, but yeah.
Cats actually can live till 20.
Yeah.
If they are not given kibble their whole life. People, stop feeding your animals straight kibble diet. You are killing them. There is no nutrition in it.
Yeah, definitely. Going back to growing up in Kansas City, what were the steps that caused you to come to Las Vegas?
I wish I had a more interesting story, like I saw the light or something drew me here, but it was really just a girlfriend of mine. We both just got out of relationships and we were like, screw this city, let's go somewhere else. And she researched all the big cities, LA, Miami, New York, and Vegas was the cheapest to live, but that's why we came here.
Yeah.
And she lasted 3 months. I'm still here 16 years later.
Yeah. Incredible. What caused you guys to move here? Andrea, why did you move to Las Vegas?
My husband.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Nice.
We have very, very different stories. I'm actually going to be a little bit of her voice today.
Yeah, for sure.
She understands perfectly. She's the type of like a dangerous woman, like you think that she doesn't understand, but she does. And she tells me all the good stories after because people think that she doesn't understand.
You could be a spy. Just pretend like you don't. You could be a spy. You could work for the State Department.
100%. Yeah. She's my little spy. I'll just set her up somewhere. She's like, so this is the tea. Right. We have a very different story. She came here for her husband and to be with her husband, who is actually also Slovakian.
Okay.
So it's kind of funny story. And I came here as a IFBB Bikini Pro competitor. I just simply didn't have more competitions back home. And I started traveling to states for the actual professional competitions. And I didn't stay for all the spark and all that, so the glitter. I actually stayed here because I wanted to enjoy my off season. I found amazing friends here, and I finished my very successful career based on where I'm from and, what could I do with what I was doing back then as a sport. I competed on Olympia, and I actually told myself that that's it. Like, I don't really want to go anywhere further. I don't have where to go anywhere further. And I found all my Latino friends, and you guys are amazing and so liveful, and it was great. And they showed me like, hey, like you actually can enjoy life. You don't have to be on a diet all the time, and you don't have to feel miserable all the time.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, like back then we've been doing very wrong preps as well. There is a way how to do fitness the right way, and that's something what Andrea is amazing about as well with her husband. They build their first companies and their first relations based on that as well, and they are doing it till today. So there are definitely ways how to do it right, and you can have it as a lifestyle, what every fitness influencer love to preach about, but it's not really sustainable for 99% of them.
So what you're saying, there's a lot of boxers that move here because they have their big fights here and they want to get acclimated. There's a lot of MMA fighters because the UFC headquarters is next door to where we are right now. And then there's a lot of bodybuilders. So, you know, like Flex Lewis and Jay Cutler both 100%. Started brands and they started, you know, doing the stuff here. So I do see a lot of people that do that. I think what the misconception is, and I hate to do this because I did this for Austin and it backfired. When I lived in Austin, Texas 25 years ago, it was beautiful. It was incredible. You walk out, you meet amazing people. Everything was fucking cheap. It was just fun. You could live near the lake and it was just great. And then everyone figured out how awesome Austin was. And then this flood of people moved into Austin, and like half of California moved to Austin, and then Joe Rogan moved to Austin, and then Elon Musk put a headquarters in Austin, and now I go to Austin, I'm like, what the fuck happened to the city, bro? It's like this place has turned into a Starbucks. Like, I don't understand. It's like none of the cool, weird shit is here. And Vegas reminds me of Austin 25 years ago now, because like realistically, when we take this for granted, if the 5 of us wanted to go have dinner somewhere, they probably wouldn't even charge us. Do you understand? Like if we went to there's anybody we call. If the 5 of us tonight wanted to go to a club and get a table, what is tonight? Monday. If we wanted to go to Jewel and get a table, they wouldn't take our money if we offered it to them. Yeah. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like the rest of the world does it. Yeah. They're going to give us a $5,000 comp on the dance floor, and like nobody is going to grasp that concept. And we get so spoiled when there's a brand new opening for a show. We're locals. We get free tickets. I remember seeing Britney Spears the first day that she came out there, and everyone there was from Vegas. It's just very different. It feels more like high school here sometimes. True. You understand what I'm saying? It feels like it's one long high school pep rally. You know what I'm saying?
100%. And, you know, those are all the benefits of living in Vegas, right? And we love it. We love to go places and have amazing shows and eat great food and all that. But I feel like everyone talks about Vegas in such a, you know, exactly for these benefits. Yeah. But let's talk about the other side, like what it actually cost us on another hand.
Okay,
you know?
You tell me.
And this is something, well, you said that we are the owners of the Gaia Styles, right? And this is where we actually also been coming from with our brand. We literally been trying to start feeling again as the goddesses, as the females, as the women, and not just based on how we look, because it's so overrated here in Vegas. Everyone is, I don't want to say everyone, but many people are very superficial, and everything gets pushed to how you look, who you are, how many followers you have. Where are the regular people? Where are the people, even these great-looking people? Who are they inside of them? Who are they when the makeup is off? You know, when you're laying down in your bed when you go to sleep, or like when you're waking up. Who are you? And this is what we stand for, and this is what we would love to actually make huge and touch everyone, and especially women. Everyone is preaching these days in America, let's empower women and let's support each other and motivate each other. 100%, you know, 100%. That's something what we would love to do as well. And I feel like Vegas is very, very specific for all these things, because yes, you do need to be pretty, or you are pushed to do all these things, you know, but who you really are deep down.
You know, so I've had this discussion before, because one of the things, and you know the same thing, like you'll go on Tuesday night to hide and take 20 girls in there with you, and then you'll come home and you're with your cats. And like you won't even leave. We talked about this before. You won't even leave your place. I won't leave Panorama Towers for 4 days in a row because they send my food up. My girlfriend comes over. I sit there, hang out with my cats, and I'm playing PS5. And then my other podcast studio is in my building. There's this thing where what I do like about this place is the dichotomy, where I can be on stage with Skrillex and 12 minutes later be in my bed with the blinds closed. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I love that.
And the other part that's really great is when you want to go on a date night here, like it's like Carbone is next to Mastro's and Javier's. Like they're not in different places. They're walking distance from one another. Like the number of 5-star restaurants where, and by the way, half the GMs of these places follow you on Instagram. You know, like it's just it's crazy. For me, I don't look at it like, hey man, I moved to Vegas because I want to party more. I actually moved to Vegas because I want to party less. But when I do party, I want to be on stage behind Dead Mouse.
Talking about differences between Europe and America, when is the last time girl actually cooked for you?
For me?
Because you were mentioning all these amazing restaurants.
To be fair,
that's what we do, you know?
To be fair,
cook, Michael?
I don't cook. To be fair, my girlfriend's from Southwest Arkansas, so she does cook for me. So that's nice. Different. But that's because she's not from. That's because she's not from here.
Exactly. So you wouldn't date
when they did the training at Tal Beach, they didn't teach the women how to cook. Is that what you're saying? There was no Marquis Day Club cooking program. Yeah.
And you know how many, normal women feel less because of these high standards we see on the social media and because all of what is, just out there, because everyone wants to be beautiful and perfect. Yeah. But they kind of like forgetting the real value.
Okay, so I'm gonna play devil's advocate, Nikola, because to a lot of women,
don't forget that I still can kick your ass.
Yeah, I'm fully aware. You look like an NFL kicker. The reality is you to a lot of women do come off as beautiful and perfect. Do you guys understand that? All four of you do.
Thank you.
You guys probably are critical of each other, but you understand most women look at your IG and like, God damn, like you guys don't look like they do, especially because the majority of this, while it may be a compliment, the other part of what I'm saying is the majority of this country has become obese. Like we're 40% of the country's obese, like 70% of the country's obese and 40% morbidly obese. Wow. And so they look at the rest of the people here and they're like, gee, you guys look unrealistic to them. Does that make sense?
But this is our choice and this is our commitment. And this is something what we created from us and from each other. And I think that every woman or every person can do the same thing.
Yeah.
So I am kind of fed up with all those things like, oh, you are pretty, so you would not understand, or like, oh yeah, you have it so easy because you are pretty. Well, first of all, this was my choice and I work very, very hard to be who I am in every way, the way I look, the way I speak, what I have, like in literally in every kind of direction. And maybe if these people would spend a little more time investing to themselves and bettering themselves than actually maybe speaking and talking about us, how lucky we are, they also would be somewhere else.
Do you get a lot of that, like on your comments?
I feel like we get that from back home a little more because people are
really from back home. You talking about like more judgmental?
Little more judgmental, a little more close-minded.
Is it just Slovakia, but is it going to be like Ukraine, Slovenia, like Lithuania?
That would be all kind of Europe.
All the Eastern European, because it does seem like it's very
critical.
Different, very critical.
Very critical.
Yeah, judgmental of the lifestyle or whatever.
Very, very judgmental.
So the other thing is I want to talk about the differentiation. To me, a girl who shows bikini pictures on Instagram, that's not porn to me. That's not lascivious. I know some friends of mine that are Muslim and they think that is. And there's just different people have different lines that they feel that they'll go to. Like pornography is pornography. That's totally different. We're talking about just like girls doing bikini pictures. Kindly is a great example. Has never posed nude before. Makes hundreds of grand, like hundreds of thousands a month on social media. And so to me, there's a delineation. But in some other places, like you're saying in Eastern Europe, like the delineation is you're doing anything in a bikini, even though you're a professional fitness model, they still are judgmental.
100%. Yeah. And, both of us been competing and, did fitness on such a high a standard and on such a high level that those people couldn't really talk anything bad about us anymore. Because it was like really like we've been up there and, it was a sport, but 100% I am sometimes thinking about it like, okay, so when I posted a picture from a competition, right, and I have the same size of bikini on me, but I am on a stage and actually 12 judges judge me, that sport, and it's amazing. But if you do it next to your pool, that's something what opens up the whole another, comment section. But that's just something you need to get on the board with and not really get distracted by it.
You know what's really interesting, because there's like in the space that I work in, there's this like dichotomy that happens where on the one part they were like, well, if women continually show non-contextualized images of themselves in bikinis and men reward them for it, then it's like women are being rewarded for something they didn't earn. But I don't completely agree with that. I actually like the women showing pictures in bikinis because I think it promotes people being healthy. And I think that really gets lost.
Like,
that's where a lot of the guys in the space disagree with me. It's like, no, I like the bikini pictures because what it does is in places like, there's a difference between a place like Dallas and a place like Chicago. In a place like Dallas, the girl who goes to the gym, who's the normal girl, she sees the girl who's a bottle service waitress or an exotic dancer, and she sees her on the Stairmaster for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and she's looking incredible. And maybe even she brings her husband to the gym, and her husband, she catches him glancing at her. And it causes her to be like, oh, fuck, I need to be in shape too. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And it causes, now you go to Chicago or New York, you just don't see that. People just put on bigger overcoats in the winter and they don't do any of this. And so what I've noticed is in these southern cities, I like any photos that promote good health.
100%.
Yeah.
And this is something what we really are preaching about as well. Fitness really is a lifestyle, and it should not be about short-term preps, and looking great, it's really just a side effect of how healthy and happy you are.
Sure.
And that's, point blank. Like, that's how it should be, period.
Lizzy, you're getting into this whole field that they're getting into.
Oh, my God. Yes. I've been doing fitness. I've been working out for 2 years now. And before I was just doing modeling and eating like crap because I've always been really
I was there
skinny.
with you. I was there with you eating like crap. I remember, yeah.
I never thought that I would need to eat or have a diet because I've always been skinny, and I was like, I don't need it. But there was this point that I was like, you know what if I do it? And what if I can feel better and look better? And then I started doing it, and then I was like, man, I think it's working. I feel great. Energy is up there. Just everything is much better with fitness.
You and I used to work out together. You remember that one video?
God.
Yeah, you remember that one video? So
yes.
I put
when was that? 7 years ago?
Yeah, I put 455 pounds on a squat rack. And I was like, and I put the Lizzy underneath it. And I was like, Lizzy, lift it one more time. Fucking you can do it, Lizzy. Come on. And I'm screaming at her. And it's fucking 4 plates on each side. And she's like, It was hilarious.
Now I can do that.
Yeah. Now you can. Now 455, no problem. On the leg press,
easy.
It's a joke.
Yeah.
Another unique thing is that if you were to ask me the 2 most dangerous cities in the last 30 years in North America, it is Sinaloa, Jalisco, and Tijuana, Chihuahua.
Culiacan, Sinaloa.
Culiacan, Sinaloa. You are from both of those places.
Yes.
And you actually talked to me about in high school, you joked with your boyfriends about getting them killed.
Oh my God. Yeah, he's an American guy.
Yeah.
And he wanted to visit me in TJ.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, just be careful, you can get kidnapped or whatever. And then he's like, yeah, sure. So he crossed the border walking, and my friend, she was gonna pick him up.
Yeah.
So then she texted him, and she's like, hey, when you come out to TJ, when you see this black van, just get in. Just get in and don't say anything. And he's like, okay. And he went, and it was just my friend, and she was laughing. But then he really liked it. TJ's, it can be dangerous, but it's beautiful. And I grew up there.
Yeah.
Luckily, nothing happened to me. Almost did. I think I told you about I almost got kidnapped and all these crazy things. But I still love TJ, and it just depends on where you go or if you know bad people. Things can happen to you. But luckily, I'm still here. So, yeah, I survived. And I go there all the time. I was there last week.
You were born in the States.
Yes, I was born in California. Yeah.
And then moved back to Sinaloa?
So, yeah, I was born in California. And 2 years later, my dad lost his job. So they had to go back. And they just went back to TJ. And that's where I grew up. As such, my childhood was amazing. I had the best time. I played in the dirt and just animals all over, chickens. It was amazing. But when I grew up, I kind of saw that it can be dangerous for a woman, for a pretty woman. So that's when I decided that I was like, okay, it's time to leave.
Yeah.
And I didn't back there until something happened to me, the almost kidnapped.
Getting kidnapped, yeah.
That's when I was like, okay, this is my sign that I have to move out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I moved out to California and then Vegas, and now I'm here.
Why did you choose Vegas?
I didn't choose Vegas. I was in California, and one of my very good friends, she invited me to Vegas just to party, and I was partying, and one of these girls, cocktail waitress, she told me, she's like, oh my God, you're so beautiful. You should work here. And I was like, thanks. I just never thought about it. And then...
Oh, talk about, have the 4 of you all had the conversation with the cocktail waitress where they tell you how much they make and you're like, holy fuck? Has that happened to you guys?
Oh.
Ish.
Yeah? Did that ever happen to you when you first moved here?
No.
No? You just knew?
That's what
I mean, No, I don't think girls like want to share. They don't want to tell you their.
Really? I've had girls. What was your situation?
Well, yeah. Job.
When she said that, like, "Oh, you're beautiful, you should work here," I kind of asked her a little bit, and then she's like, "Yeah, I would do great money." She didn't say how much, but And then I was like, okay, but then nothing. Then I went back, came back like a week later, and then I was like, you know what? Like, I don't have a boyfriend. Well, I had a boyfriend, but we were not good. So I was like, you know what? Like, I don't have kids or not married. So I was like, I should just move here. And then I met this a friend of mine. He helped me to get a job, liquid pool area.
I remember.
Yeah, it was really hard because it was my first time, my first job as a cocktail server in Vegas.
Is this 2015?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what to do. I said yes because of the money. It was so hard.
It was so hot, man. It's so hot sitting out there. Yeah.
Imagine my first time in Vegas, and I asked for help. I learned, but the girls, they just didn't want to help me much, just because they knew I was the new girl.
Yeah.
And I didn't do the auditions. I kind of like jump in. And I know I understand, girls, they do the hours audition and like interview. I didn't. I kind of like
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, like Lizzy or Jen Mateo or Masha Diduk, they're not going to go to tryouts. Like, there's a few girls that live here, they're just going to get the job almost wherever like if Ambry McKee tried to get a job somewhere, she's going to get it like the first try. She's not even going to go through tryouts. There's a couple, and it's not specifically how good looking you are. It's like all of the managers there know you. Everyone in Vegas knows you. They know you're not leaving. You don't have a bad reputation. You're not like hooking on the side or whatever. They know better. You're not a drug addict. And then those girls will end up getting hired. The girl who wins Wet Republic's bikini competition usually ends up working at Wet Republic the next year. There's been a few times where that hasn't happened, but a lot of times that does happen. You've seen that happen before, yeah. You've been in that competition several times.
Yeah. And I think this is something what people usually don't think about as well. Like, you have these amazing jobs, or you are pretty, you get the job, whatever. But to keep the job and be good at it, these girls are really working hard, like working summers, working, like waitressing.
Dude,
or doing a bottle service, like dealing with the people. It's hot here. It's hot, so. It's
drunk people
really just the strongest survive, and that's why I feel like we are where we are today, because we really put we really put the hard work in, and that's great, because we all know the girls who come here for a month or two and they get fired, or they are just like, oh my god, I can't, I actually have to work. So
it's a lot of work.
It is interesting.
So
Yeah,
you really do have to be a full package.
I tell girls because for the pools they fire everyone and then they rehire every March, or they rehire every January. And I tell the girls, I was like, when the pools open in March, just wait a couple months, because that first group of girls, they're going to fire a bunch of girls who don't cut it. This happens every time. They try to get like the prettiest girls and it just doesn't work out. And I was like, just wait, especially if you're the Prezzo girls, the presentation girls at XS, they're in the queue to be the next girls to work at XS. I didn't ask you, how did you come to the States? How did you specifically decide to come here? And then how did you get your green card visa? Like, how did that
my
work?
competitions, I answered that before.
So I didn't realize that was the way. So you got a visa that way. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
I mean, I've been sponsored athlete for over 15 years.
Okay.
So it wasn't that hard for me, really.
Yeah.
And then once you start opening your own companies and once you establish yourself in the States, it's not that hard. But obviously, you do have to do something, and you do have to, I don't want to say be somebody or whatever, but it's not just like, oh, I want to stay here, so I'm going to stay here. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I wish they'd change the rules. If pretty girls want to move here, they should be able to move here.
From wherever.
From wherever.
Bring them all in.
So I'm going to ask you 2 questions, and any of you guys can answer this, because I think all of you have worked for Kaylan at one point. So the first question I'm going to ask you is, what does the world what is an atmosphere model?
Technically, what an atmosphere model is, it's beautiful women who are paid to just be there.
Yeah.
They're eye candy. They enhance the room. They enhance the vibes. If you're lucky, like me, you have a lot of great girls who are the whole package, which means their personality matches their looks. Their professionalism and reliability matches their looks. So we run a really tight ship over here at Legend, and everyone has to go through an extensive in-person audition with me before they ever get hired for everything, or anything. So I make sure that not only do they look like their pictures, they carry themselves well, they're friendly, they're not going to be one of those girls standing in the corner, checking her watch, so that's very important to me. What other people call it is what other people call it, but to me that's what it is.
Anybody else have a description? Because by the way, that's the other thing. There's several agencies here, but I tell the girls whenever they ask me, I'm like, if you're going to try to go off and date your clients, don't go work for Kaylan. That's not going to work.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's why Kaylan is the only agency I ever worked for.
Me too. That's the only one for 10 years.
In 10 years, she's the only one I worked for as a religion.
And I recruited you.
And you recruited me.
I went to probably one of my favorite burlesque show that Vegas has ever had at Paris, and I went with some friends, and I was just like, I was watching her the whole time, and then I went up after, and she happened to be on the step and repeat, and I don't do that very often, actually. I have girls and talent reaching out to us every day, applying, so I never really have to recruit. But I was just like, I want her. Something about her, I want her, and the rest is history. And we became really good friends,
How did you meet Lizzy?
You reached out to me, I think, right after you moved here.
I think we were working at a different agency, remember? And then...
Oh, please tell me the story, because I don't remember.
No, I was working with a different agency. Remember the, I don't know the name. And then you... I don't know if you quit or left and then opened.
Oh, when I was working for another agency. Yes. So when I first moved out here, I was a model myself for a couple years, and then I became an agent for another agency. Yeah. And I felt like it was before 2015. I wasn't with them anymore. I feel like it was as far back as almost 2013.
Something like that.
That you worked for me for this other company that I was with for a few years, and then I left to start my own agency in 2014.
Yeah, and then you told me hey, I'm opening this agency. I would like for you to work with me. And I was like, yeah. I knew her back then, so I was like, I trusted her. And she's the only agency that I've ever worked with. I think I always tell people when girls want to work in an agency, I said, Kaylan, she's so OCD kind of her job.
No, I call her like a sergeant, like an army sergeant.
I love that because all the girls, all the models, we look so perfect because of her. Yeah. The photos are amazing because of her. She is in charge of everything. She's just perfectionist, and I'm like, I want to work with her.
That's true. Yeah. Andrea, have you ever worked for Kaylan?
No.
Oh, you haven't? Okay. The other thing I was going to ask you is, you and I share a best friend.
Yes, Kindly.
How did that whole thing happen? Everyone in my program knows who Kindly is, because I was single, Kindly Magyar. I will say this before: there is no greater wingman in the world than a playmate. There is no greater wingman in the world than Kindly Myers or CJ Sparks. Literally, I do nothing. I remember when I was single and I liked a girl, I would just walk up there with Kindly, and she would do all the talking. She is incredible. How did you meet Kindly?
In 2014, I did my first bikini competition in Dominican Republic. That was my first one. And I was like, I'm just going to go and have fun. I'm not going to try to win. I just want to have fun. And one of the guys there, he's like, I want to introduce you with this girl. She's super cool. She's down to earth, just like you. And I said, yeah, sure. So I met her. White girl from Tennessee, Nashville. We're going to have so many things in common. Yeah. Sure. And yes, I always said she's kind of like a Mexican girl. And she always said that.
Kindly's a Mexican girl.
She always said that she's like, Lizzy, she's like a white girl. And I'm like, no, you're like a Mexican girl. So we're always like, she's so cool. We're so similar to a lot of things, never had any argument. And since then, I think we see each other almost every single month. Yeah. For 8 years or more.
She has sent me a meme every single day for probably the last 7 years. She sends me a different meme every day.
Yeah. That is real friendship.
Yeah, it is. Right? It is pretty crazy.
We travel all over.
Do you know what the rule of Kindly is? Have you ever heard it? Have I explained it to you?
One?
So if you get a new nose, new lips, a new boob job, or labioplasty, you go back to zero.
Yeah,
you're a virgin again.
Yes.
Have you ever heard this? That's the rule of Kindly.
You're new.
This I could understand, but what does that have to do?
Every time you get a new boob job, you're back to zero.
You're a new person, new everything.
The rule Rollo and I have is every time you sleep with a girl, you go down one. You go down. You go down to zero. That's
typical man logic.
I'm just saying. I didn't make up the rules. I'm just saying that's what they are. But Kindly is one of my favorite people in the world. Dude, she says so many funny things that I will not repeat on the show. But she has the most locker room humor of anybody.
She's got her Cybertruck today.
Yeah, she got a Cybertruck today.
She's so excited.
That's pretty awesome.
Now she's driving around in a tank.
Oh no! Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and she's never done a podcast. Isn't that funny? She's never. She won't go on any show. She's like, she gets invited all the time, and she's like, I'm going to go on Michael's before I go on any of yours, but I'm not going on any show. So I keep.
She gets very nervous.
I don't know how she gets nervous. She's like the funniest person I've ever met in my life.
Well,
it's
this
really
is
funny.
my first podcast too.
This is your first.
Oh, is this your first
I
one?
was so nervous. Why?
Why are you nervous with me? Like,
no, not with you. Just in general.
Yeah.
Like, I just never been.
All right. So, talk about that whole thing. You and I met. Because I was working with a different company that hired you to be a model. This was in 2012. I think it was at Lily Bar. Do you remember this?
Yeah, Lily, which is now Bruno Mars spot, the pinky ring. Yeah, so we go so far back. I didn't even have my agency yet.
Yeah.
You had you had a different business partner back then, and you were hosting events, but you were doing a lot of videography, and you were at the events doing the red carpet portion. I guess you still kind of do that, but I was a model for that. I was a bikini model, and then we just started kind of unintentionally working with each other at so many events because you were hired by the client and I was hired by the client for modeling stuff when I was booking models, and then we became friends. Yeah,
that was pretty good stuff. I always recommend to people you. And then the other thing is, I don't know if you can talk about this, but they were talking about the OCD nature of it. Like when you'd walk into a club, like people don't understand this. This concept is so foreign to other people. You walk in with a table of girls, and there's like a way that you do it, and then the guys get out of the table, and the girls take a photo up on the. You understand what I'm saying? It's like
it's been a while,
Michael. It's been a while. You haven't done it in a long time, but it's like this very different, unique thing that we have here in Las Vegas. It feels like prom, not prom. It feels like a pep rally. It feels like a high school football pep rally every time we go out.
Yeah, everybody knows their role. You're excited. You're making a scene. All eyes on you. That's what the club wants. And most of my girls don't even drink. It's just all a facade.
Yeah.
They're there to have pictures taken of them. They make the club look good, and then we're on our way before everyone gets too belligerent, and we go get food.
Yeah, we do.
And then go snuggle our cats.
Go snuggle our cats. The other part is that the thing that's different is, like, especially you two created a pretty large social media presence during the time when you moved here and started modeling. Can you talk about this, like how that has affected you as far as like getting more work and stuff like that?
100%. I always say this 100%. Where is it coming
you do.
from? It's new. I never done it before.
You've been saying it for a couple years.
Really?
A lot.
Why you never told me? You usually always correct my English.
When you start your podcast, then you'll catch yourself.
It's not bad English. It's correct.
It is
100%.
correct. But it's 100% correct.
It's like for sure.
Nikola, you have to start a podcast. You definitely need to start one. I definitely want to hear you do it. Anyway, go ahead. The social media.
Social media. It definitely helps you a lot with getting the jobs and like getting out there. But also, what we're trying to change now is how we can use our social media to maybe spread a word about the things we want to talk about.
Yeah.
So that part when we've been just getting the followers to have a followers and to maybe establish ourselves based on these numbers, it's done. We always say, like, even now with our new brand, we don't need 1 million followers who are not really interested about the brand or about the way we want to live or what we're saying or what we're preaching, or don't want to be part of the community we're trying to create. We better gonna have 2,000 people or 1,000 people or, with people who are, from the people who are really into it and really have something to offer and want to share this new journey and this new life with us. So yes, it's great to have a big social following and like be great on the social media. It definitely opens a lot of doors, but also what you gonna do after you open these doors.
Sure.
And that's the question we have right now.
Have you guys had challenges when it comes to your business, or what is it that you're selling? Are you selling like a low ticket offer? Like what is it that Gaia, the lifestyle brand, is selling?
So Gaia Styles is a very new lifestyle brand, and as I said, we want to create a community. We do have a product because every brand has a product. We started as a fitness bikini competitor because that's what people knows us for. We started with a great line of bikini, which we are very proud of, but we also are doing it a little differently, and we also have a bunch of accessories. Necklaces, belts, and all kinds of accessories from actually healing rocks and stones and gems, which that's thing what we're trying to do right now. That you look good and you feel good, but this is the nature and these are your roots and this is you kind of combine the way you look with the way you feel and with what you want to say. It's definitely deeper.
I'm going to get nerdy with you, and actually you too, because I run a business and I have 35 employees and I have 1,600 clients. Do you run ads? Are you going to run meta ads? Do you have a sales team? Do you have a funnel set up? Is there anything like that? Affiliates, anything like that?
We're in the very beginning. The brand is created, and we're actually launching this week. Our website is going to be open very, very soon, so people can see our products, and fall in love with the brand and with the ideas and with everything we have to offer and what we want to say, and become a part of us. That's really what we want to achieve. And depends how the brand is going to grow. Yeah. Everything is possible. Sky is the limit, Michael. You know me.
Well, listen, what I'm saying is call me if you have any questions. Seriously, because what you're doing, we would consider what you sell is below $3,000. And you don't need a sales team, so we call that a low ticket offer because that includes supplements, clothes, that includes jewelry, like you said before. I have some friends of mine on TikTok that are doing $10 million a month selling stuff on TikTok Shop.
That's where we're going.
Yeah, TikTok Shop is absolutely phenomenal. There's a guy on TikTok Shop right now. He sits in his bed. He wakes up and he goes, "Yeah, man, I just tried this new fucking massage thing, and it was pretty fucking dope. $600,000 a month is what this kid is doing. Just sitting there making review videos on TikTok. It's absolutely amazing. For my product, because I have a high ticket offer, my cheapest product is more than $5,000. I can't sell it on TikTok. It doesn't work. I'm going to sell. I'm actually doing an audio book. I'm going to read my sales copy and then turn it into an audiobook and then sell that on TikTok Shop. But I can't sell my program. And I was saying, for something like what you guys are doing, I think that would be a really great way to go. And then maybe $10 a day on fucking meta ads and trying to see A/B test which ones are the best. That's what I would do, because the stuff you sell is totally fine on meta ads. You cannot sell a dating course. You cannot sell a crypto course. You cannot sell an THC course. There's a bunch of different, or THC product. There's a bunch of rules when it comes to meta, but meta is absolutely the best way to make money. Have you run ads before?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? Have you run? You got any response from that?
I feel like with what we do, it's not really a product, it's a service.
Yes.
So I feel like most of our clients they find us organically, our website, it looks very professional. They see our big catalog of what we did, or people like you who are reputable that refer us. But for the ads, it would gain us a few followers, but I don't think it was really targeting the right people, that are coming in town for conventions. That's our main clientele, is people coming in for conferences that are booking corporate entertainment for their after party, booth models for their trade shows, and influencers for their videos. And it didn't work for me, but I haven't tried it in a couple years. Maybe you could help me.
I'll tell you what that would really probably help you is, because you want people with a certain net worth that are going to do this and from certain industries. You might want to try a DM setter. So what we do is, we have a guy who all he does is, every time I get new followers, I get about 1,000 new followers a week. The guy will go in there and he actually messages every one of the new that are male, not the females, and he'll message them hey, what was it about Michael's content that you liked? And then there's a set of things, and then we actually get them with a setter appointment. I have 5 setters and 5 closers that work for me, and we do that, and that's how we've done that so much we're actually might get out of the whole advertisement thing, because we're making so much money.
What's your ratio? How many of them bite, or how many close?
So it's impossible to say. When you DM, it's not a high percentage. I know, and this is the other thing I was saying. You guys want to start a community, so you might want to think about Circle or School or Discord. Those are the best places to keep your community together. When we sell to people that are in our school group, it's 6% call to close, which is really high. For ads, anything past 1% is fucking phenomenal. So it's about 1% from ads, but it's about 6% from when we get people. So I have 4,300 guys in my school server. When we go to one of them and say, hey, would you like to upsell? Would you like to try actually the full MOA program? Or then later on, would you like to try our alumni program? Then it's 6%. 6% is ridiculously high number for something like that. Call to close, though, if you get somebody on the schedule, you want somewhere between 20 and 40% close rate is what you're looking for. But what you have is a high ticket offer. That's the reason why I'm bringing this up. For most part, it's you have to talk to someone on the phone. Nobody can go. Right. No one with you. They can't go direct to cart. They have to talk to someone.
Absolutely.
Because it's too bespoke what it is that they're getting from you with the Z cards and all that kind of stuff. With what you guys are doing, it's not bespoke. You actually you would have some sort of Brazilian healing crystal that you would sell to whoever wanted to buy it. Does that make sense? And you can go direct to cart that way.
However, later we definitely want to expand products, but also services. So you
want to do coaching?
So we do want to have workshops. We do want to have a little seminars. We do want to have a podcast. So your dream might come true, because I'm actually.
Yeah, nothing will help. Nothing will help you more than the podcast. You probably haven't seen it because we haven't gone out that much. But I go out now, and it's only men, by the way. It's not women. It's just only men. because we run the meta ads, I cannot go 5 feet without somebody stopping me to take a picture. It is one of the craziest things. And it doesn't matter what, if I'm in Miami, if I'm in New York. I was in New York at a Knicks game and guys were stopping me to take pictures with me. And I was like, how the fuck is this possible? But like the advertisement, the meta ads, it's just one of the craziest things. And the podcast is the easiest way for you to grow the brand, one, but it's two, the content from the podcast can immediately turn into an advertisement. Does that make sense? Yeah. You don't have to film a separate ad. You just had like a really good moment on your show, you turned it into a clip, that clip got 1 million views, and then you turn that into an advertisement. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hermosi talks about that in that book right there, $100 million leads. And it's just one of the best ways I've seen to like run a business. Because I do meet a lot of girls that are in the city who are really attractive and have like a smart mind for business, but the world keeps changing. And like the guys I listen to are like Russell Brunson and Alex Hermosi. Those are the guys who like stay on the cutting edge of like whatever the new stuff is. I have an affiliate team, so probably 15% of my sales come from affiliates, and these are guys who take my clips, they put them up on a TikTok channel, and then the bio it just has moamentoring.com and then their affiliate code, and then if they sell my course, they get 10%. And so we've sold a bunch of courses that way too. So that's another thing you could do.
World is definitely changing.
Yeah.
Also, as the Eastern Europeans,
yes,
we love the personal contact.
Of course.
With our customers as well. You know, so that's definitely something that real touch, human to human.
Yeah.
That's definitely something what we stand for
Yeah.
as well. So I understand all the busy world and technology and all that, but there is nothing like two people actually having a great conversation or touching each other's hearts and.
The other thing is during the pandemic were the Zoom calls. You've been on some of my Zoom calls before. So Wes Watson, he does $4 million a month, $4 million a month, 90% profit. And he responds, Wes Watson is the fitness guy. He was with Blackstone, you know what I'm talking about? He went to prison for 10 years. Wes.
That's why I don't know him, because he's been in prison.
Yeah.
So he wasn't out there when I got here.
In prison, he posted every day from prison. He's like, I had a cell phone in prison. Yeah, he was in California State Penitentiary. Anyway, Wes is doing like $3.5 million a month. He told me, I went on Wet, Fresh, and Fit with him 2 weeks ago. And he goes, I have to spend $1.3 million per month on my business. My accountants tell me I have to spend on my business. So he buys Bugattis and fucking he showed up to Fresh and Fit, dude. He had 2 Phantoms and a Bugatti in the middle. It was he pulls up like that,
How did he drive 3 cars at once?
He had 2 security guards. He had security guards in the front and the back, and then camera guys. And then he walked up. It was the wildest thing I've ever seen.
See, logistics manager.
Yeah, there you go. You got it.
How did he drive 3 cars?
Well, anyway, the point is he does the way he coaches, and I've kind of stolen this from him. Is these group Zoom calls are like the greatest way to scale a business I've ever seen. I'll have 90 guys watching, and then I'll also simulcast it on YouTube, and I'll have another 2,000 people watching on YouTube, and then from there you can turn it into like a webinar, which in the end is just like then your CTA, your call to action.
I should start doing that.
Yeah, I'm just like there's so many.
Yeah.
It's one of the crazy things because you guys are all articulate. It's so many ways to make money now that like we're kind of lost in our brick and mortar and I'm not saying this is not a great way to make money. Becoming a bricklayer or becoming a plumber right now, you are going to get paid. People are like housing starts are blowing up. People. Like the cost of housing is never going to go down as long as human beings have to lay the pipe and set the bricks and whatever.
That's why I choose medicine.
Yeah, there you go. For medicine's another great example. That's never going away. That's a great example for that. But like there's so many ways to make money online right now, and you guys already have the part where it's like you already have a following. You're going to have some people, and it's not even 1% or even it's not even 20% of your following, but 1%. You have 490,000 followers. If 1% of those followers buy your program or do like a subscription service, that's a business. Yeah. For 1% of that to do it is a business, and that was something that it took me a while because I started MOA with 18,000 followers on Instagram, and I think I had we were doing 50,000 a month back then. It was crazy. So like, there's just so many ways to do this now, and I'm like, I just every time I go to one of these seminars, I like want to tell my friends, I'm like, dude, there's so many cool things that you can learn and change and do.
I'm trying to change like my engagement on Instagram because when I first started modeling, I got all these guys followers, and I was like, awesome, I'm getting all these followers, and now I have same like 500,000 followers, and I'm like, with this new business that I just opened, I kind of want to help more girls, like women. And I don't have that many on my Instagram, so I don't get that much like clients as like women. And I'm trying to change everything. I'm not trying to post any more sexy stuff. And
What is your ratio? Do you know what it is? What percentage are men and what percentage are women?
96%.
Jesus, really?
Wow.
Yeah.
What do you guys know?
And I don't want them. That's what we've been talking about as well. Like, it doesn't really matter the number of followers you have. Is the engagement what you get, and like if they really want to be a part of whatever you're doing. You know, I don't want to say like the buying power. It's not just the buying power, but it's just really people who love you for you. And I feel like no one struggles more with that than pretty girls, because people want to look at us for the way we look, you know, but they don't really go deeper. And to switch the narrative takes time and real hard work.
So one of the issues is, right, so if you came up with an idea and you were explaining it to some guy, even if you were right, they might agree with you, but not because you were right, but because you were pretty. Does that make sense? Like, and that becomes problem, because my girlfriend.
That's why we hang out together. We don't go out with guys anymore.
Fuck the men. Men are gross. I totally understand. But like, so my girlfriend, when she was a bartender in Houston, she would call me and we'd have a debate about something. And she goes, Michael, all the guys at the bar agree with me. Sorry, she's from Arkansas. All the guys at the bar agree with me. And I'm like, of course they fucking agree with you. You're a 5'9" blue-eyed girl with huge fake boobs. They're going to agree with any. And she didn't grasp. It's like, of course they agree with you. And she could have been right. But it's one of these things, like you said before, this is the reason why I have no problem being friends with females, is because like I try to stay away from the boobs. You guys are all very pretty, but I never come up to me like, hey, looking sexy today. Even when I do even when I do the bikini competitions, you will never hear me say the word sexy or hot.
You're very professional.
And the reason why is, you want to know why? Because to me, you know what you are? You're a WWE wrestler coming out on the fucking stage. That's what to me, you know what you got when we were going to hide before, do you know what it was? You guys were a fucking college football team racing onto the field. That's what it was. In my mind, that's how it was. Whenever we would go on there, it was like, you know, in homecoming when they run through the sign and everybody starts cheering. To me, that's my bikini competitions were like that. That's always what they were.
And all this also boils down to real friends and a real friendship, because people gonna always tell you, you're right, and you know, like kind of like nod, like absolutely. But do you know how hard it is to have 5 good friends?
It's pretty hard
in your life these days in this city with this look. It's hard. They either have to make as much money as you or like be as pretty as you, or else it's like it gets kind of hard, you know? That's what I found. I guess
it's kind of difficult. But yeah, no, that is probably a difficult thing where it's like they're going to tell you yes because you're pretty as opposed to telling you yes because you're right. You ever have that issue?
I don't know. I'm always right.
Yeah. See, there we go. That's what I'm saying. That's why I always tell you you're right. I get 80. I just looking at it. I have 19% women that follow me, which is crazy. That's actually really high for MySpace. That's ridiculously. I'm surprised that there's that many.
I wish I had that.
The other thing. The other thing is. This is the other part that's crazy, and I don't know if you've seen this, but as far as like when you post a grid picture, you guys notice they show it to 2% of your followers, but Reels they show to people who don't follow you. I don't know if you've seen this. Whereas I get like 95.1% of my engagement comes from non-followers, and 4.9% of my engagement comes from followers. This is stuff you guys know. Char Modell, right? You guys know Char. So Char's my social media manager now, and we've been friends. God, I've known Char since 2011, right? She was an Atmosphere model too. And it's one of these things where it's like, it's crazy that you can like reach out to like infinite numbers of people on the Explore page by posting Reels now. Instagram encouraged us to post Reels because they were competing with TikTok. And TikTok was taking over market share, so they were afraid of it. By the way, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but a lot of like conservative viewpoints that were getting ratioed on YouTube, they're not getting ratioed anymore. And the reason why was because Rumble came out. Because Rumble let people talk about anything they wanted, YouTube was like, we're going to lose our content creators if we don't like allow. So again, I don't think the election was stolen. But before, if you said the election was stolen, they would basically ratio you on YouTube. Now YouTube came out with a thing basically saying we're not going to say that anymore. It's totally fine for you to do that. And the reason why was because Rumble and Kick were allowing these hyper conservative content creators to just say whatever they want. By the way, to an extreme point. Like they talk about the fucking painter in 1939 in Germany. Like it's bad. Like this shit, they forget what I'm saying, but it gets pretty bad on there. But it is one of these things where it's like, it's reactionary, where now you guys post Reels instead of photos, and now you get more engagement that way.
It is a power for sure.
Yeah.
Social media, it's definitely power. And all of us should be thinking, how are we going to use this power, you know?
For good. Yeah.
For good. Yeah.
Things are definitely changing. I've noticed when we post on our agency page, like I look at how many of my followers that Instagram actually shows it to, and it's crazy. We have over I think 12,000, 14,000, I don't remember, but they're all real followers. We've never purchased followers, and we'll post something awesome, and then I'll look a day later at the insights, and it says that it showed it to like 400 people.
Crazy.
And so I wonder if they're penalizing us for not spending and on the Meta.
Yeah, so I'm curious if that's the case too. I will tell you, I have an account manager at Meta now because I spend like $4,000 a day, or $4,000 a day on ads, and so because of that, I can get in contact with somebody, whereas before I couldn't. I remember when I got my account taken down for impersonating myself. That shit was crazy. They took my account because I impersonated me. That was definitely problematic. But
someone did create a fake account with you.
Oh no, there's been 25 fake accounts
Imposter
of me.
accounts.
Yeah, but what they'll do is they'll make an imposter account of me, and then they'll flag me for impostering them. This was before you could buy the blue check mark, and I was just like, yeah, that part was pretty nuts. For you, it's like one of the things that also happens is, like, in your case, you get to advertise your modeling agency using mostly social media, almost entirely social media. Can you talk about the difficulties of that? Because I have people come to me all the time saying, I want to start a modeling agency. I was like, I know the girls who do it, and they work way harder than you. So what have been the difficulties?
Honestly, probably the most difficult thing about my industry and what I do is that every Tom, Dick, and Harry, sorry, it's an old school term, have started. Yeah, it's an American thing.
What did you say?
I know all three of them.
Yeah.
I know Tom, Dick, and Harry.
Have started, their own agencies now, and a lot of them are young. They really don't know the business side. They don't get the proper licensing, and it's become oversaturated. It's lowering rates because you're getting undercut by someone who's, brand new and doesn't really know what they're doing, and then I hear horror stories from girls all the time, agents that don't know what they're doing, or they weren't a model enough, or a model themselves first, so they don't really think of things that can happen. And so that's probably been the most difficult, is there's so many bad agents and bad agencies that you have to work extra hard to make yourself stand out. And I've been in the business for over 20 years. I've had my agency it'll be 10 years this October. We're gonna have a big party.
Let's do it.
But this has been my blood, sweat, and tears. It's been my dream. It's been my whole life for so long. And so that's probably the most difficult, is when you can sometimes get kind of saturated and a mix of all these unprofessional agencies. As far as advertising, I have so much fun with it. I wouldn't say I'm super talented, but I do love taking pictures. I love taking good quality pictures. I love editing. I just recently started getting into editing reels, and I actually really enjoy it. It's kind of my reading or my sewing. It's what relaxes me, and it's probably the one way that I express my art is taking photos and videos of my talent, who I respect and love so much, and trying to, pave them in the best light possible, and really enhance, what's great about them. And I enjoy actually the advertising on social media, even if only 50 people see it, I still love it, and our page looks great, and I take a lot of pride in that. Our websites look great too.
Yeah, you don't shoot with an iPhone. You actually bring like a pro camera in. Yeah, the Olympia. Yeah, I remember that. That was pretty cool. And I guess like that's what you do. That's your sewing. That's your meditation. Your relaxation. Hers is what you do. Shoulder press. Is that your relaxation? Is that what it is? And then you're like you put 455 on the leg press.
Sound very relaxing.
Wait a minute. Actually, all our products are handmade. So her and me are two people who really are sitting there on a Saturday night together.
Guys, do you see this? Hold on. Can we get a close up of them right here? He goes, let me make these fucking stones for you real quick. Yeah,
let me make your necklace, sweetie. It's
look
from my
at Andrea. There she's doing it. Look at it again.
During the day we work out, and during the nights we are fixing jewelry.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna ask you something. Obviously, not working with her, but in general, do you guys have any crazy stories? I know you do, Lizzy. I know, like, crazy.
I can't say.
You can't say. A girl maybe you knew. A girl you knew, but way back in the day. Do you know any? Have you heard any horror stories?
I've seen things.
Yeah, like what?
Well, you might be in Jamaica.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What thing specifically are you talking about in Jamaica?
Well, Jamaica, the hotel where we stayed.
Yeah, I mean,
with 100 girls.
Oh, okay, yeah. So you're talking about Paradise Challenge, but like we weren't doing it. It was the fat tourists who were there who were fucking in the beach. Is that what you're talking about?
One of those, yeah.
Yeah,
that too.
So you're out shooting implied because the only place.
No, I'm not.
No, I know you're not. I know you're not. I know you're not.
Hypothetically.
Yeah, hypothetically.
And this is one of the reasons why I never wanted to be part of like these big group things because you can't really, it's not my business what anyone is doing, but like you kind of are your environment, and
you're boxed in with everybody else.
You are boxed in with everybody else.
I always explain I don't do it, but they do it. It's like if they believe me, I hope they do.
Here's what would happen. So you'd have
what we can do is just say, you know what, I don't want to go. I'm good.
Yeah.
So
but
I'll explain to you guys. So the Negril, the beach faces south. The sun, so that means when you shoot the sunset, you actually come out to the beach and you have to turn to the right, which means you're not looking directly into the ocean. You're actually looking, you're not looking towards Cuba, it's past Cuba. You're looking towards Mexico. And like, so you're facing this way. Like people would come out there and shoot in the water and they'd get incredible because of the humidity in Jamaica, the sunsets are purple. It's really,
so
you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
And they're purple. And then you'd be doing a shoot and some fat couple would sneak in behind the camera. You'd sit there with a 7200 lens and they'd be naked, just start fucking behind the people who are shooting. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
That was fucking crazy. Yeah. And then whose fault was it? Who did security blame? Who did security blame? Did they blame them for fucking in front of the camera?
Like,
no, they blamed us.
Allowed.
No cameras allowed.
Yes.
What are you doing?
Well, it was a hedonism resort,
it's a hedonism,
right? So
I love
that.
I'm a watcher. Like I love to watch, but I will never do anything like that. I just love to watch weird things.
Were you ever on the other side of the thing with me?
Not with you, but I
was
went.
there with Liz with Corey Yee one time.
The other side, you have to be naked.
Yeah, you can't wear clothes. You have to be nude.
The one that we say is like optional. So
it's the nude side and the prude side.
Yeah. So I sit on the optional.
Prude side all day.
Yeah, you stay on the prude side, but then you at night people will go to the nude side. And like, by the way, I was like, I'm never going to the nude side.
Yeah,
and
me too.
And fucking Joel never goes to the nude side either.
Yeah.
I started going and I was like, this is the most fun shit ever. I'm like, I'm gonna go here every night. This is pretty cool.
Naked?
Yeah, the whole time.
Oh yeah, you have to.
Like no pants?
Yeah, nothing. Yeah.
One time I was like,
every year for the last 7 years I've gone to Jamaica and I'm naked every night that I'm there. Yeah.
One time I saw this guy like dancing.
How do you think I met?
I was like, oh, is that Michael Sartain?
How do you think I met my girlfriend two girlfriends ago? How do you think I met her?
Oh, 2 girlfriends ago.
2 girlfriends ago, yeah.
I was going to say Houston, right?
It is so much fun. I really like it.
Anymore.
Okay, here we go. This is the part of the show where we pile on Michael Sartain.
This one's lasted a while.
Yes, no, this one is great. She is.
Which one is that?
Huh?
Which one? Oh,
Kylie.
No, the other one.
No, we're
talking about the current one.
We're talking about Voldemort.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know that.
Yes. Great person. Hope she does well. Wish her nothing but the best. Wish her nothing. All my exes wish them nothing but the best.
Always.
Send them a fruit basket. So let's talk about this.
You should bring them all one day.
So Rollo wants to do that. No, Lizzy, Rollo 100% has messaged both of them. I call them Voldemort and Sauron. He's messaged both of them. And I think they'd do it. I really do. I'm not sure.
I think they'd. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But like nothing but the best. Hope nothing but the best for them. I don't know.
They're friends now.
They're best friends. Yeah, my 2 exes are best friends.
Yeah.
And would Kylie be in the circle too?
No, Kylie would be. We'd have to frisk her before she comes at that bitch. Yeah, we're not going to do that. I don't know. And then the girl in between them was a huge fitness model. You know who you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. She's like a world famous fitness model.
Beautiful.
Yeah. All right. So let's do this. I want to ask you guys a question. The difficulties of dating in a place where a lot of guys are very good looking and a lot of girls are very good looking. What are some of the difficulties? Just hypothetically. You don't have to talk about your current situation right now, but what are some of the difficulties?
Well, for Andrea, she's very happily married, so she never had to deal with any of this.
Good job.
So she did well. She did well. Her husband is amazing, and all of us can just dream about a husband like that.
Yes.
So, I wanted to say in the next life, but no, damn it, I'm going to have it all. Like, I'm going to have, great business and a great husband one day. So let's do that. Manifestation.
So have you had any issues with the men here? Or know of anyone who's had
the men
issues?
here have issues with themselves. That's where it's actually starting at.
Let's go. Keep going. Keep going.
No. I know you want what you want to get out of me, and you're not gonna get it because I do believe when you spend your time with someone, it does says a lot about you. And cherish all my past relationship. I am relationship girl, 100%.
Yes.
100%. And yeah, I don't think that I can always just kind of like, I don't want to say manipulate. What's the word, Kaylan? You always help me out. Like, you can't really...
Or you don't manipulate the situation?
Yeah, like when you can't really always tell people how to act or like what to feel or what to do or whatever. Like, it's up to them on the end of the everything, right? And I think that I learned great things from every single of my relationship, and I definitely mature, and it kind of like made me the woman I am right now, and that's where I would leave it, Michael.
Okay, there's a Fitbit or Whoop.
What?
Fitbit or Whoop?
Fitbit.
Fitbit? Ready?
All of us.
Here we go.
Fitbit family.
Here's the Whoop. Here we go.
And it's so funny because now we have a group chat with Andrea and her husband, and we would like talk about everything, and we're really like competing, like how many steps you have today, you know? And
does it give you a sleep score? Like up to 100?
It does. It does. Yeah, it does.
I can't get above like a 70.
It always shows me I sleep just for 3 hours. I'm like, this.
No, it's true. No, it's because what happens is if you're not breathing right when you sleep, when you wake up. So I have the Oura Ring too, and it turns. Have you guys seen the Oura Ring? It turns red when you're asleep. You'll wake up and look at your Oura Ring, and the ring thinks you're asleep. But like I always thought I was sleeping. I would be in bed for 10 hours. I was like, oh, I must have slept for 10 hours. No, bro. It'll say I slept for 6 hours and 5 minutes, and I'm like, what happened? And by the way, the other thing is, I think because I'm on TRT, I think the more TRT I was on, the harder it made for me to sleep. I don't know if that's quite the issue. I'm not really sure.
I think I sleep better with it.
You do?
Yeah.
With the Oura Ring?
No, with the TRT.
Oh, okay. So let me ask you, in your situation, have you can go ahead and dump on the people that you didn't want to. What is dating like in the city?
You know what? When I first moved here, I met this guy, just a friend, and he told me, he's like, don't date anyone in the industry.
Yes.
Like, just don't, because you're gonna work there and they'll kind of like fuck around and things like that. Just don't. And I said, okay, like, thank you. And actually, I didn't. And my first boyfriend, I met him. He's not even in the industry. You know, I think you met him. I was with him for 6 years.
Oh, I remember. Yeah.
He was amazing. He was not in the industry. I was the only one. So I think that was a really good balance for me. I can't date someone that it's kind of like not similar to me, like, you know, but that goes out for work or just like in the industry. I just can't.
So I think the problem is like for what I'm going to say we all do, because we all go to social situations and we're social people.
Yeah.
It's hard to date someone who, when you go into those social situations, either feels drained by the fact that other attractive people are coming up and talking to you, or does not have an extroverted personality. Because if I took you, remember that one time we went to that open house, with like white party or whatever, and then at no point wherever we were like, yeah, this fucking sucks, this is boring. It's like, no, these are new people that we're going to meet. We may be able to start businesses. We were just open, open opportunities. It was an abundance mentality, and it was great. And when you're with someone who doesn't feel that way, so I'll just tell you right now, my dad was more extroverted than me, and my mom wasn't. They would go out in social situations, and my mom, because her English wasn't that good, she would like lock herself in a room. She did not want to talk to other people, and now she's very different. My mother's 82 years old. She'll talk to anybody now. But it was one of these situations where it's hard because they're going to see you, Lizzy, and you're going to go out and you're going to do some modeling thing. You're at, let's just say you go to CES and you get a gig there, and there's like hundreds of dudes who are coming up to you, and some of these dudes are like super successful. Your man is going to have a hard time like seeing that, or he might not be able, and I'm not saying your man specifically, but like some guys may have a hard time with you being so open and so extroverted.
Yes, it's been really hard actually, because that. And they always say at first when they get to know you, they're like, I'm okay, I'm not jealous. Yeah. You can do that, you can do, modeling, I'm okay. But then months later, they're like, you know what? Like they saw everything, like all these guys approaching, and I know it can be a little hard for them. I understand. Yeah. But that's
things change when you catch feelings.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, and I understand. I'm not saying like, oh, you should not feel that. I do. That's my job.
This is one of the reasons why you guys notice I've never had an issue with you guys bringing your boyfriends to the bikini competitions ever. Like I've always told you, bring your boyfriend to the bikini competition, because it's not because I want you to feel comfortable and for him to feel comfortable.
I brought one to judge with me once.
You did. You did brought one to judge. That's exactly right. Your situation dating or the things you've noticed. It doesn't have to be about you, but the things you've noticed about people dating in the city.
I don't know. I mean, I guess.
Let me just say this. This is really different. Is you, even though you are a model, you don't heavily lean on social media like some of the other girls do.
Former model, retired. I definitely prefer the other side. I've never really been the one who wanted to be in the spotlight or have the attention on me. I love being the spectator. I love standing back and like judging everyone. No, I'm just kidding. But I've tended, you know, in the last 15 years of my life to mostly date performers, entertainers. It's just comes with the territory. I book entertainment for a living. You know, by the way, I have Legend Entertainment as well. We do corporate entertainment, so not just the modeling agency. So that's how I meet entertainers, and I'm really impressed by talent. Talented people are my passion, so, you know, lo and behold, I end up dating entertainers as well. So I let them do their thing, and I sit back and I enjoy that. And thankfully, I haven't had major issues with jealousy because they know they have no room to talk. Because my husband of 10 years and, you know, other, you know, gentlemen I've dated, they have fans swarming them and coming up to them and wanting pictures. And so they're so used to it that, like, you know, the little bit of dudes that talk to me, it's like, no, you know, no big deal. I don't have the most inviting or approachable look, apparently, when I'm out and about. So it's very opposite. And I like being in my role.
You look like, you know, Queen Daenerys. That's what you look like. You know?
She's approachable.
Her Drogon will kill you. That's the way.
That's what we always used to get together, right?
Yeah.
Like everyone would say, like, we have resting bitch faces, and we are like, yeah, keep sweet.
That's kind of how we bonded.
That's how we bonded, yeah, because all the time people been just kind of afraid to come talk to us, and they've been right. So
yeah, they've been right. Don't come talk to us. You were right. Your instincts were correct. Yeah. We will shut you down. Lizzy, do you ever get jealous?
No, When I was really young, yes. Yeah. And then one day I said, you know what, I'm going to change. I'm not going to be jealous anymore. I'm just going to trust first. And yeah, that worked for me. Yeah, it's better like that.
It's I don't like drama. I think the part is when you come to the realization is like, yeah, if they go off and fuck off and do something else, I'm just going to find someone else. If my business partners leave me, I'm just going to start another business. You know, it's like that. That's the way I look. If my personal trainer, if he can't train me in my building anymore, remember, I'm just going to find another person. Yeah, her and I used to go to the same personal trainer.
It's healthy detachment.
Yeah, but it's one of these things. It's like I love Kaylan, but there'd be months where we don't talk to each other like for a while. But it's like one of these things where it's like I know she's out thriving and doing well, and if she calls me up, I'm not going to be like, I can't believe you haven't called me in 2 months. It's like, no, she's doing her. Busy. She has a busy life, and I have a busy life, and I'll call her for advice and stuff. Were you going to say something about the jealousy thing?
Yeah, but I forgot.
Okay. Do you ever get jealous? No.
You know, I think it all boils down to how you feel about yourself, and that's why I even said what I said. Like, you know, men sometimes they really do have issues with themselves, or women, they have issues with themselves, and you really need to mature and kind of like evolve and level up to a person you are comfortable to be, and set your limits and set your boundaries and set your like everything you want for yourself in life, and just speak it to reality. And if someone wants to go and cheat, then go ahead. At least please do it now than, you know, like sooner or later. There's nothing I can do about it, because that says everything about you, not anything about me. And I think that in my 20s I used to really, you know, think that, oh, what I could done better, or like I do this, I do that. No, the girl in 30s is confident. She's like, you do you, boo boo, and you know, like the strongest stays.
I don't need you. I can bench press more than you. Is that what you tell them?
Well, need and want are two different things, and I think that people used to mix it up a lot.
You do. So this is the thing, though. Like, you are very physically fit, successful model, but you also like traditional values in a relationship.
100%.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
I think all three of us, that's another reason the three of us
really.
Yeah. And of course, absolutely, she is married. And I was married for 10 years. I'm very much a relationship girl. I hate dating. I don't think I've ever met a guy, like a stranger, randomly out, and we've exchanged numbers and started dating. It's never happened in my life. Everyone that I ever ended up dating, I knew for years, so we worked together closely for a while. But the three of us, you know, definitely don't have a reputation of being promiscuous. We're relationship girls, not big partiers. We have good heads on our shoulders, and I think that's one reason we all bonded. We all love animals. Yes. We haven't even talked about how Nikola
you're a vet tech. I didn't know you were a vet tech till right now. I had no idea. I didn't know you were a vet tech. Yeah, I have a shout out to Alexis Bradley. She comes and watches my animals whenever I'm out of town. That's awesome. So how do you get into that? Because that's a difficult gig to even get into.
It is. It's very different, and I think it all started with evolution of myself when I just didn't want to be a pretty face anymore, and I wanted to have a value, and I wanted to be a rightful part of this society. And animals been something what I always loved and wanted to do, and it's just always been a dream of mine. And I kind of like played with the idea, like, oh, when I'm gonna be a big girl. And then one day I woke up and I've been 30, and I told myself it's now or never. And kind of like a private events of my life also showed me, like, you need to invest to yourself first.
Because no one else will.
Because no one else will. And also I like to say love, it's not enough. And the fact that I love animals doesn't fix them the way I can fix them right now. When I signed myself up for a school, I successfully graduated last year, and it's been 2 years. I'm actually working full-time as a vet tech during the day, and I got completely out of industry, as we've been speaking off, and now we are creating this beautiful baby of ours, and we kind of really are putting everything together, and it's great and it's amazing. But animals are definitely something what really, really warms my heart and breaks my heart on daily basis.
It's rough.
Man, like that job, that gig, it's hard. But
like you literally save lives.
But it's very rewarding. It's very rewarding.
I'll tell you this for anybody who's watching this. If you've never had to put an animal down, it seems so terrible to you before you ever have to put one down. Yeah. And then I had Sheba 2 years ago. She had total kidney failure within 2 weeks, and she lost all her weight. And I woke up one morning and she's having a seizure on the ground, and it was just like, I was afraid for her to not put her down at that point. Everyone told me, it's like, this is time, you have to do this. And it doesn't make sense because we don't do it to humans who are 15 years old. We don't do it to human beings like that. And so, like, I will tell you, like, when you see them suffering, because they're not, the animals, their biology isn't quite like ours, right? They can't get kidney transplants. It doesn't work the same way. Does that make sense? Evolution has not designed cats' kidneys to live as long as cats. Do you understand what I'm saying? There's a misalignment there. Cats were not designed. Actually, cats in the wild don't live very long. They live like 5 or 6 years. It's just we have domesticated cats. The term for it is Felis catus. Our domesticated house cats, because we don't put them under any strain, they end up living to be 15, 20 years old, but their kidneys don't ever make it. Human beings died from heart failure and from cancer, and sometimes from kidney failure, but not nearly as much. Cats almost exclusively from old age die from kidney failure, and dogs have different problems like dysplasia and eczema and all these different kind of stuff. And that's the thing that I always thought was fascinating, because I talked to my friends who were vet techs. The girl who won Swimsuit USA 2 times ago, she was a vet tech, and she would explain to me about like neutering animals and like how crazy it was. And she would do like a bunch of these like per day, or crazy. I don't know. Was it just dogs and cats, or did you do like alligators and other pets?
No. So when I've been in school, we actually had to pass all the skills also on farm animals, like large animals,
farm animals,
exotics, which is all your old birds and lizards and all that. So I have one of my favorite patients. It's a goat. Her name is Amira. I love her to pieces. She is so cute, and I really truly just love them all. And it's crazy that sometimes people are like, oh, he's a real doctor, and I'm like, what you mean real doctor? Like, you mean like a doctor, like a human doctor?
Yo, like, let me tell you something.
Like,
a vet?
Oh yeah, a human doctor. And I'm like, so the doctor who actually needs to treat the one species?
A veterinarian.
That's easy.
It's easy.
It's harder to get into vet school than med school. I don't know if you guys know that. To become a PhD veterinarian, it's harder. And I think a lot of people don't realize, because you see the trope of like the vet who works for the mafia and like pulls bullets out of people, but he's like you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And he's got like unregulated levels of ketamine in the back and whatever. And that's real, like actual veterinarians. Also in the U.S. military, the only service that has veterinarians is the Army. So if you're on a Marine Corps base, the Army is the vets are all from the U.S. Army. So I thought that was interesting.
Actually looking into it.
Being an Army vet, that would be such a fucking great job. You would see some of the coolest dogs ever and like live in some of the coolest places.
Yeah, I've been looking into
being an attorney for the U.S. military, or being in the JAG Corps, being a vet, being a chaplain, those would be really awesome jobs, because you start off as an officer. That's why it would be like a really, really cool gig to do something like that. And the other thing is, I was talking to one vet tech, and they were explaining to me alligators have 3 chambers in their heart. I was like, that's crazy. I didn't realize that. I'm curious. This is way off the topic, but this is my main, the main point of my program is evolutionary psychology. Did you, before becoming a vet tech and seeing all these different animals, have any question about natural selection and then change your beliefs on it after you became a vet tech?
Depends.
Okay.
But collaborate on your question, because we can go so like deeper.
Charles, I'm curious if any of you guys have any beliefs on this. Charles Darwin's belief that we all came from a single cell organism to eventually become like fish, which became amphibians, which eventually became reptiles, which eventually became mammals, which eventually became primates.
Are you asking me what was first, chicken or egg?
No, what I'm asking you is, did you always believe that growing up in, like, say, because there's a lot of people in like very, very religious places who do not believe in natural selection. And I'm just curious, when you get into something like you're actually treating lizards and mammals, it'd be very difficult for me to not believe in natural selection after that.
So, you know, I actually don't have an answer for that.
Okay.
Because I myself am battling all kinds of beliefs and facts. Because one thing is what my brain believes in, and, you know, my medical background, where you literally have it there as a science, like it's like this and this and that. And then you have your spiritual beliefs, and then you have your religion, and all is kind of mixing. And I feel like we are living a great time when you can literally just choose from your menu and select what you want to believe and who you want to be. And that's what I'm doing. So, yes, I am saving animals on daily basis, but I also eat chicken or beef on my lunch, you know? So, and this is the subject, what it's, Kaylan is already crunching there because she's like,
you aren't vegan.
You know?
I eat pretty vegan at home.
Okay.
Like if I go to someone's house or I go out to eat with people and like they offer me some meat, I love the taste of it, but I really try not to purchase it. I don't judge anybody that that does. I would also like have trouble with that. I think it's a conscious thing. You know, it's tough. I don't envy you.
100% tough. But back to your question, like there are so many things like, you know, let's talk a little bit of like psychedelics. Like that's something what opens your, you know, subconscious completely. And like you going far somewhere else. And I just literally like dip my toes into it. And oh my God, you are getting like all excited.
I want to talk about this.
Okay, so let's talk about,
are we doing mushrooms right now?
I want you to consider something. Human beings have the ability to actually cannabinoids have an effect on the brain. If natural selection had not designed humans to be able to do that, do you guys see where I'm going? Like, there's certain things, there's certain functions where you have to ask yourself, like, why is it that all of us can do a certain thing? Like, we can all see red, green, and blue. Unless you're colorblind, you can see those different things. We all tend, I bet you if I went to every one of your houses, none of them's below 55 degrees and none of them's above 95 degrees. We all kind of live in the same spectrum of heat. You guys all, you know, when you see, if we were to pick out pretty girls, most of you would be like, that girl's pretty, that girl's pretty. There's certain things as human beings that seem to be ubiquitous. A pretty girl who lives in Kiev is very similar to a pretty girl that lives in Los Angeles. We kind of see the same things. And so I'm curious, like psychedelics, the fact that they have that effect on us, it makes me think that there was an evolutionary adaptation for certain ones of these psychedelics or marijuana or stuff like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like it had to fit somewhere in our evolution. Yeah. Otherwise, like, why would it work? Why wouldn't it just kill us? You understand what I'm saying?
Well, we're talking about microdosing too. So we're not talking about hallucinating and tripping, you know, but this is something I wanted to talk about as well because it's becoming a big thing and I'm doing my research. Maybe I shouldn't put this out there. But, you know.
I'm doing my research. Ready? Let's all do mushrooms together. Is everybody ready? We're going to do that.
Well, it's called,
next episode.
Okay.
It's called microdosing because it's such a small amount that all it does is enhance your mood. It opens you so you can, like, maybe get along with more people or you're in a better mood or you just got more pep in your step. You're not tripping. You're not hallucinating. It's nothing like that. And it's so much healthier for you than antidepressants or alcohol or even marijuana, you know, not that there's anything wrong with cannabis and THC, but it is healthier to ingest the mushrooms than smoke something that's affecting your lungs. Obviously edibles, you know, that's different, but it's becoming a thing and I honestly believe it's going to take over and it's going to be the next influx like cannabis was a few years ago when it becomes legalized and people realize that it's healthier for you than all these alternatives, especially the narcotics and the prescription drugs that people take for their, you know, depression and anxiety and all of that. It fixes that and it's natural and hopefully they don't oversaturate that market as well and put other chemicals in it because that's what they tend to do. But I think it's going to be a really big thing, something people should invest in. And I've never liked hallucinogens. I've never liked any kind of drug or alcohol where I'm not in control or I don't know what's going on. I always have to be in control, everything in moderation. And my friends kept trying to convince me to try the microdosing, you know, the gummies or whatever, where you take one gummy and you're just happy, but if you take the whole bag, then you're, you know, that kind of thing. And I was like, no, I'm afraid. And I finally did it. And I was just like, ooh, you know, like, this is great.
All of a sudden, the bitch face.
It's so funny.
The resting bitch face is just gone.
No, seriously. I have friends, they have a joke. They'll invite me. They're like, hey, you want to come out with us? We're going to do this. And I'm like, yeah, sure. And they're like, there's going to be like 8 to 10 people in our group. You might want to bring 3 gummies. You know, they joke because they know that, like, I'm more open and I'm more naturally flowing. You know, I'm not in my own head. You know, I think it's a really great
That's what
thing.
I've seen. People not in their own head, yeah.
Totally off topic, but I just wanted to say that.
No, it's perfect.
And again, this is not about like promoting like do this or do that, but before you actually judge it, try it.
Absolutely.
So the thing you said about losing control, I've never been drunk. I've never tried marijuana.
You don't drink much,
Same,
right?
I never.
Yeah, I've never done anything. So like I've totally, and it's not a function of control. The other issue is I don't have social anxiety when I'm around large groups of people. I have the opposite.
No way.
I've noticed that.
Shocking.
Shocker.
I actually feel more comfortable. I don't know if something happened, I got kicked in the head or something, but I feel more comfortable talking in front of 600 people than I do having one-on-one conversations with people. Like there's probably 30,000 people who are going to watch this episode. And it's like, I feel more comfortable describing things like that than I do. And I don't know why, like I'm so extroverted, but it's it's an advantage and a disadvantage, because it's an advantage because it makes me a good instructor for my courses. I usually have about 80, 90 guys on my Zoom calls, but it's a disadvantage because when guys are like, I'm introverted and I want to be extroverted and how do I do it? And I'm like, I'm trying to help, just do it. You know what I'm saying? But it is also the other thing, like I get to choose how loud I am. I'm also not worried about you guys being offended by how loud I am. And when you ask people, hey, I want to go to the gym more. How do I get this guy to go to the gym more? It's like, you fucking go to the gym more. Like there's no book I can give you. You have to go to the gym. You just do it. Like I'm in the worst.
So hard.
I teach a self-help course. I'm in the worst part of self-help. The best part of self-help, the easiest one to teach. You guys know what it is? It's Tony Robbins' feelings. I'm selling feelings. I sell feelings to you, and then you feel good, and then you pay me money. How great is that? Like you guys at least have to sell like stones. You got to buy the stones. You know how much it costs to sell people feelings? Nothing. It costs nothing to sell feelings. That is the best part. You want to know the worst place to be in self-help? Actions. What's my name of my course? The Men of Action Group. I have to make these guys do homework assignments. And so they're like, fuck, I don't want to do these fucking homework assignments. I got to read 30 books. See all the books around here? These are all required books in the Men of Action book list, right? And so they have to take action. And they take action like, man, I don't want to do this shit. And then they go on the calls and I'm like, did you fucking read like I'm yelling at them or whatever, because it motivates them. I try to help motivate. I try to tell them the truth. I try to not pussyfoot with them, because most of these guys came from some self-help course where they're like, it's okay. You're enough. You should feel good about yourself. And I'm like, you're not enough. Your fucking wife's going to leave you because you're fucking fat.
And
You've
get
lost
to
your
work.
job, and your wife is going to fucking leave you because you're fucking broke and you're fat. And I'm the only person who's going to tell them that.
And there's also a big difference between Europe and America as far as upbringings. Like, our parents told us as it was. Our friends tell us as it is. You know, like, we are not sugarcoating. We are not like... you know, sweet. What is the participation trophy, please? What is that? What is the participation trophy? When I have a kid one day and I know I'm gonna have them because I want them, I'm gonna make sure that that little human is doing its best while it's still having fun and living his best, you know, like child experience.
Yes.
So I also feel like this is something what definitely should we talk about more, because America loves to coddle things.
Yes.
But in the world, it's hard.
People get offended so fast.
So easy. I mean, you're Latina, you know. Like, didn't you get slapped by Chancla from your mom?
Yeah, for sure.
You hold zero grudges towards it, right?
She did it to my brother and my sister, and I saw it, and then I behaved because I didn't want to get that.
See? Learn from other mistakes.
Exactly. I always said that.
But like the delusionality. Okay, so like let's consider a couple things, because you've competed in IBFF Pro, IFBB. I always get that wrong. You've competed in those pro competitions, and you've done my competitions before too. And when you do so, there's a group of girls you're like, yeah, this girl's top 5. There's no question whatsoever. This girl's going to be, you've seen this before too. Like it's clear. And then there's a group of girls that show up. I remember last July I had 70 girls show up to one of the rounds. Wow. And it was like there was a good 25 of them. And I'm like congrats for coming out here. That take a lot of bravery. You don't need to be here. Like it's just, you're looking at Nikola and Ambry McKee and Masha did, okay, and you think you look like them. And that's fucking crazy to me. Like, it's not to say that you don't have special inherent value, but you think you're going to win a bikini competition, and I don't go to a weightlifting competition and say, man, let's put 225 on the bench press and I'm going to do 55 reps. Yeah. I don't do that. I don't go to the Lakers and be like, I'm playing small forward tonight. They'd be like, get the fuck out, call security. Yeah. But like, there's girls that come up here and it's like, I feel like in some cases, social media has caused a certain group of women who have been using FaceApp and Facetune to literally believe that because they got messages from guys trying to fly them to Dubai to have sex with them for $20K, that they legitimately think they're going to show up to a competition for $100,000 at Wet Republic, and then they're going to beat like Kayla Rocket. They're not going to beat her. You understand what I'm saying? They're going to beat you, or they're going to beat like Kindly. They're not going to beat them. You know what I'm saying? You've seen this too, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why maybe they feel confident, and I'm happy for them. But
confidence is healthy. Like,
yes.
all of us should have a certain amount of the confidence, but also we should know what are our strong parts and what maybe are our weak parts.
Self-awareness.
And entitlement, if we can call it that way, it's 100% huge.
Yeah, for sure. But in real objective life, can you ladies agree with me? In a real objective life, everyone you're talking to isn't as pretty as you. Do you understand?
I think they need to work to get better.
No, but this is what I'm saying. But like
wait, I would say like depends what you want to say. Like if someone comes to, it depends what you want to do with your life, right? Like if a girl comes to me and she's like, hey, I want to go compete. Can you please give me a professional advice?
Yeah.
You know, and I ask them always, do you really want my advice, or do you just want me make you feel good?
Yeah.
You know, two different things. Or if,
so you've had to tell them before, like you're probably not going to be able to compete.
I'm not going to say you can't, because never say never, and like it really is.
And steroids are a miracle drug, right?
No,
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Hard work is miracle.
Yeah, I'm kidding.
Hard
I'm
work can really, do the miracle, and I believe in that. So there is no such a thing like a lost cause for anybody. But how much are you willing to put in? How much you willing to stay consistent?
Yeah.
How much you want to sacrifice to this?
Yeah.
Because it comes with a huge sacrifices.
Look, genetics are part of it for sure. I grew up with like narrow shoulders and string bean arms, and I was just like, well, I don't want to look like this for the rest of my life. So I tried to do something about it. I love having you be a judge at a bikini competition, because off the record, you do tell me what your opinions of what people look like are, and I tend to agree with you.
I'm just trying to like sway your opinion. I'm like, look at that one.
One. We had one girl. I won't say who it is. We had one girl. She came on and she was a judge, very huge influencer. I won't say who she is. And she was like attracted to one of the girls, so she gave her a 10 and every other girl a 2. And it fucked up the whole score. I had to throw her stuff out because she was trying to sleep with this girl.
Oh my
God. It was so messed up.
Fuck it.
I don't care. It was Tucci. I'll call her out. Yeah, it was so funny that she did. She's like, dude, you can't give girls a 1. That is fucking terrible. You can't give them a 1.
She's having fun with it. Yeah, I definitely take it more seriously. I'm like, how was their walk? How did they speak? Where, that kind of thing.
I was a judge too once.
Yeah, that's your main judge. So here's my thing, just for anybody who's wondering, if you guys want any like hip to the game on like how to throw a really good bikini competition, you need as many judges as possible, because what happened is you'll get a normal distribution of votes, and so the guy who just isn't into black women or the guy who isn't into skinny white women, they cancel each other out. Just like in what you'll do is, like in the Olympics, they'll throw out the high score and the low score for gymnastics. But if you have, so I like to have 10 or 15 judges. Some places have 5, and I'm like, no, she could have slept with 2 of those dudes. Like, don't do 5. 5's too low. You need 10. And I also want more than half the judges to be female. That's the other thing. And when I do that, I tend to, there's never a disagreement. We never have an issue. The controversies are going to come when you have 3 judges, 5 judges. You're going to have controversies. When you have 10 judges, then it tends to work itself out. The scores tend to work. So I really do like that a lot better. The other thing I was going to say is, and this is something you mentioned to me, and I've been trying to convince people of this, and I bring you up all the time. You told me one time, the only reason you did that competition at Dre's was because we were giving away $2,000 for 10th place. And we were given a $1,000 for 10th place in the preliminaries. And for whatever reason, people don't listen to me when I say this. Giving a $25,000 first prize only helps one girl who can never do your competition again. But giving away a $10,000 first prize and giving away $3,000 to the girl who makes 10th, now everyone's happy. And what we did, remember we did, first prize was a bag, and then second prize through 10th prize all got the same.
What kind of prize is a bag?
Yeah, well, I mean, the bag was a $50,000 bag.
What kind of bag?
A Birkin?
It's a Birkin. It's a Birkin Himalaya,
But in the same time, like,
Whoever won that bag sold it.
Yeah, no, she did.
For sure.
She did.
Sure.
Yeah,
Is it like 20,000?
Shout out to Jenna Musgrove. Yeah,
18,000?
she sold it. Yeah, for sure. But the point I'm trying to make is, like, in these situations, the trick that I found that really helped was I announced first, second, and third place, and then 4th through 10th. I didn't even say who got what place because they all got the same money, and nobody felt like it was rigged. And that was like the thing. I've been doing competitions for 10 years in the city, and every time some girl who has no fucking business being in the competition comes up to me and tells me I rigged the competition. And I'm like, I make too much money for you to pay me to rig this fucking competition. Get out of here with this shit.
But also, let's just kind of make it clear that we are not making fun of, girls who maybe are not in the best shape at the moment, or maybe are not the prettiest at the moment, or they just have a bad day, right?
Yeah.
Or whatever. But if you decide to go compete in a competition, in a bikini competition in Las Vegas, you do need to come in a certain package.
Yes.
If I want to be a lawyer, I do need to come in a certain package in my mind. If I want to do medicine, I do need to be have that certain package. And that's just with everything. It's not just being pretty or being smart. You choose some direction. You are better in it.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
So the way I like to say it is the male cardiologist and the female cardiologist. The male cardiologist, he speaks at different universities. He's got multiple degrees. He makes a lot of fucking money. Let's say he makes $1 million a year. He's the leader of men, right? He's got a group of people who follow him. He owns his own business. And even on his social media, maybe he's got a bunch of followers. And he speaks at Harvard and Yale and Johns Hopkins and places like this. So the things that make him a good cardiologist also make him attractive to women. This is the difference. A female cardiologist, she will go off and she will have incredible, same thing. She will give speeches at different places. She will be an incredible cardiologist. Let's say she saved my niece's life. I will send that woman a bouquet every year on her birthday. She has incredible value to the world, but it doesn't necessarily make her more attractive to the opposite sex. And that's where the difference is. It's like a lot of times women will think the things that make men attractive to women are the things that women need to make attractive to men. And it just doesn't work the same way. And I think that's where the confusion. You understand this concept. I think it's so funny. Whenever I do in other cities, we'll do a panel show and I'll say, what do you guys rate yourself? And all these girls, none of which are as pretty as any of you, will say, I'm a 10, she's a 10, she's a 10, she's a 10, she's a 10. I come to Vegas and I do it, and like the hottest girl ever will be like, I'm a 6. And like, I'm a 4. Like, it's because Vegas beats it out of you. That's what happens. Like Vegas
come correct.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Vegas beats that out of you because you guys every day are like seeing, well, in the first week of January, 8,000 girls show up here to get the pool tryouts. You've seen the pool tryouts before. Yeah. Like the madness of doing that. And then you see like more than half of them like, why are you here? Yeah. Like, what are you thinking? And the reason why was because they were the prettiest girl at the Twin Peaks in Wichita, and they thought that they were going to come here.
They select themselves.
Yes, they do. And that's what happens. And on social media, they crush. And you know where they really crush? Mm-hmm. On dating apps. On dating apps, they get so many matches. But then in real life, when they come here to Vegas, I've said this before, LA is where you have to look good on camera. Vegas is where you have to look good in person. And that's the difference. Yeah, that's what like a lot of people don't understand. They're like, no, the girls are hotter in LA. It's like, no, they're hotter on camera. In person, the lighting, you can't face app your way to get a job at Tao Beach. Yeah. It's not possible. They're going to be like, no, this doesn't work. Sorry. We're going to give one of the other 4,000 girls a job.
That's what Kaylan was saying. Yeah. Like in her agency, this is a big thing too, because your work ethic, your personality, all that needs to match your pretty pictures.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, I get really disappointed when I'm like, she's my most excited that's coming in today to this casting.
Yeah.
She looks really beautiful. And she just got a stank attitude, or she showed up 10 minutes late. You know, I'm just like, dang, that was it.
I can name 5 of them right now that I can think of that were like that.
And then me and Andrea, we go even deeper. We're like, so where do you see yourself in like 5 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to ask you guys a question. You're married, so you don't have to answer this. But the question would be, if someone wanted to date you, what would be the qualities that would catch your eye today?
You translate?
Yeah.
Aké kvality?
Že čo by mal mať, aké kvality človek, ktorého by si chcela.
OK. Takže byť pravým mužom.
Be the true man.
True man, okay.
True man.
V dnešnom svete ich není veľa.
we don't really have many of those in these days.
Yes.
You know?
A proste úprimný, dobrosrdečný a hlavne nech je vodca.
Honest, good-hearted, and a true leader.
Okay.
And I can't agree with this more.
Okay.
And I would also maybe add, as maybe strong woman myself, that I would definitely want someone who is not afraid of my fire, who is not afraid of my passion, who I don't have to be smaller next to for him to feel bigger. And that's,
like most of my guy friends, you could probably choke them out in jiu-jitsu. I'm like pretty sure.
and I'm not talking about muscles.
Yes.
I'm
talking about muscles.
She's not talking
We're talking about
And
Nikola and
that's
muscles.
and they're just collaborating on like what she's saying, like, you know, being a true man, and man really has to stand behind his word. Yeah. And I feel like I didn't have where to see that growing up without father and you know, all these kind of things. So it's crazy how your values and your needs and wants change with age.
Cool. So that's the next thing. Well, and I'm going to get to you two also. Were you attracted to certain things 10 years ago and you've changed to now?
I can't say it louder, 100%.
Okay, cool. So I know some of your exes. So can we go over what are the things that have changed in what you look for? And you even describe physical attributes, because I think that's what a lot of guys would be interested to know.
I just like to say I really want a man, or I would like to have a man who brings to the table what I bring. So obviously there needs to be a balance, and I do believe, and I didn't believe this before.
We're talking about finances.
No, I'm talking about everything. Like, I want to, like, yes, you do want to have a good-looking person next to you, but that's not all. I don't look like this when I wake up either, man.
Did you was there a point where looks mattered more to you than they do now?
Yes.
Okay, that's why I wanted. Okay, keep going.
Pretty much, and I always been saying, like, yeah, I definitely want a guy who is doing this and that, but who caught my eye? The pretty boys.
Yes.
And what happened after? They didn't really fell through with, like, whatever they've been saying or whatever they've been preaching. And I think that's completely other topic, what I don't even want to talk about. But moving forward and looking in the future, for myself, I am going to be looking, or not even looking. He's going to happen. I don't have to be looking. And I want to make this clear. Like, I am actually really pouring all my heart and passion and fire to this business of ours right now.
She's going to manifest a man right now. Hold on. There's a man. There's a quantum field manifesting a man right here in front of us.
Here. It works, Michael. It works. And you know it works because you do it too. I know you for years.
I do, but I think it manifests better when you look like Nikola.
I'll take that.
Ladies, am I wrong? Like, I think there's certain, a man's going to manifest for Nikola. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. No, but absolutely the highest quality should be being the true man.
Okay.
Because that's, and I don't even think that 90% of guys these days know what that means.
I agree they don't. In fact, I believe that they are taught quite the opposite.
And we are pushed as a woman. We don't want to be strong and independent woman 24/7. We don't. It's tiring. Hear me clear and loud. It's tiring.
I manifest my husband.
Yeah, she did manifest her husband. And we have a lot of, like, really soulful conversations about this. And I have to say, their relationship really truly changed how I look at the relationships myself right now. And
inspired you.
It really inspired me, and I was like, damn, this is how I should feel.
If we do Access Vegas, you should bring your husband on.
Oh yeah, he would love to.
Does he speak English?
Yeah. Fully.
Perfect.
Fully, yeah.
We'll do, you know what would be funny? We'll have you guys sit across from each other and act like you don't know who each other are, and then start flirting with each other during the show, and then, like, about halfway start making out, like, over the table.
Yeah, for sure. That's something you totally you can book them for.
Yeah, I think you should do that.
That's the type of presentation we want to do.
I don't know if you're kidding, but I think that'd be really funny. It would go viral.
Of course, I'm kidding. No, but we really became really hilarious trio. So there is. But that's why we have a company, and hey, maybe you can come to our podcast one day.
Dude, I will absolutely do anyone's. I will definitely do your podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, so you had, the thing is, what can you point back to a certain moment where it was like, these attributes, I keep seeing guys who have certain physical attributes I'm attracted to, and now I'm starting to maybe the physical attributes were so attractive to me, I ignored some red flags, and now I see those red flags. Do you know when that happened for you?
when I hit 30.
Okay.
When I turned 30. I mean, I'm 33 right now, and these 3 years just been mind-blowing for me. And I'm very happy and very blessed and very thankful for every single experience I had in my private and in my personal and work life as well, because it really, truly, changed me to a woman I am now. And the confidence I have right now about myself has nothing in common with the way I look. It's really truly know myself and know what I bring to the table.
Yes.
And I am not afraid to be alone. I'm not afraid to go do life by myself. But man, wouldn't it be beautiful if two great minds can come together and create something much bigger? Because I also do believe that in a tribe and in the unity, it's the true power.
Sure.
And that's something what we're doing right now, and I feel extremely blessed to be a part of their family right now, because we are creating something big and something amazing together, and we are really inviting everyone to have a piece of it and join us. So that's the community I was talking about in the beginning.
Okay, that's great. So that at 30 you noticed a change in like what you found attractive.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Okay. Did you ever have an issue like that?
What issue?
The thing, if someone came to you now, Kaylan, what are the things that you find attractive, like that would catch your eye? I know it'd probably be hard, like you said before, like you don't go out that much, and what would be the things that would catch your eye? I'm just waiting for one of you guys to say 6'3" and green eyes, but like none of you are doing that, so.
Tall, dark, and handsome is overrated.
Okay, there we go. That's what I want to hear. Like that's good.
I like that.
But it used to be. But you're saying it's overrated because you've tried it.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Go ahead.
I would like to try gentlemen with regular jobs that are entertainers. That's going forward, because it hasn't worked out for me thus far. But it's also not appropriate to box
like you
all
really
guys
tried
in
either.
No, it always just happened. And that's how it should be. But as far as what's changed, I don't know. I think I still haven't learned my lesson. I'm working on it. But I think something big for me, and with Nikola as well, is sometimes we'll have guys who are attracted to the fire and attracted to you're a badass independent woman with your own business, and they love it because they see how you are with other people and they see what you're doing. But then once you hold them accountable to the same standards that you hold yourself, because trust me, honey, I am 10 times harder on myself than I am to you, but I am hard on you. Everybody in my life that I'm close to and that I care about, I'm hard on them. That's how I love, is by holding you accountable, calling you out, telling it like it is, and I just hope and pray you do the same with me. So there's gentlemen who are attracted to that, but then when you start holding them accountable, I just want a woman to bring me peace. I just want a woman who makes it easy.
But you are her chaos, baby.
Exactly. They bring the chaos, and then you're the crazy or alpha woman, or you're too masculine, or you're too aggressive, or whatever. It's like, no, you're just not adequate enough. Next.
True.
My goodness. My goodness. All right, cool.
I think I don't go by looks. Never. I never go like by looks. I just want like a real guy, just a regular job guy, And then one time I tried someone that was like handsome and blue eyes and all these cool things. Yeah. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna give them an opportunity. And he's an amazing guy. It just didn't work out. And I want just someone real, someone that loves me. I'm very selfish with my love. I just want someone like it's with me and share stuff and like a team player, I'm very independent.
If they look at another girl, you stab them?
No, and actually I don't care. We can look together, but we will never do anything with her. But
you got to my next question, but keep going.
Yeah, and we can look. I'm not like I'm not that jealous.
Michael, don't.
I'm not going. I'm
not gonna answer
I'm totally
that,
kidding. She brought it up. I'm kidding.
I'm not answering that question.
This is not a group of girls who gonna like thrive on this.
Yeah, of course.
No questions like that. So yeah, I just want like a normal guy who just gives me good energy and like positive and no drama, no crazy stuff. I like easy love, good love.
When I left to go to Swimsuit USA 2 years ago, we would talk all the time. I was not looking to be in a relationship at all. And I just met someone who was so awesome that I was like, this will work. In fact, I wasn't sure until she came to stay with me the first time. And people were like, how'd you find your girlfriend? And I was like, I wasn't looking at all. My life was fucking awesome. PS5 and cats every day. I go down to the cold plunge and jump in the fucking sauna and lift weights and play basketball and hang out with my friends and watch Skrillex and fucking Deadmau5 for free up on stage. My life was awesome. And then I met this girl and it was just like, wow, this is awesome too. But it was almost like pretend you had a company and you didn't need to hire another salesperson, but you meet a salesperson who's so fucking good, you have to hire them. That's how she was. She was this executive in my company that I didn't even know I needed when I found her. So like, I totally agree with what you said before. It's like, you got to be complete before. I was very happy before I met her. Yeah. I think sometimes though, like for her, she'll have this thing is like, man, you're really happy when you're without me. And she thinks it's like, that it's like I don't need her. It's like, no, that's not what's going on. It's just like I love the Dallas Mavericks. You know, you're not the Dallas Mavericks. I love the Texas Longhorns. Like there's other things in my life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and obviously,
but inviting her to your life, should actually make her, you know, feeling good about herself as well. Because like, hey, like he been completely fine before, and he wants me, so I'm adding a value to his life, and adding a value to someone's life. It's huge.
I'm going to clip this and send it to her. Thank you. That's exactly right. That's
welcome.
That's totally perfect. No, the other part, obviously, that was difficult, and this has been with every girl I've dated, is that like I'm doing a show with you for. You understand a lot of girls who had boyfriends that were me would all of a sudden be like, wait, you're just best friends with Kaylan Franca. Shut the fuck up. And I was like, no, she's just my friend. It's like, for real. It's like, yeah. It's like, you've never hit on Lizzy? No, go through our messages. Never, not once. I've never, Lindsay Palas I've never hit on Nikola. I've never, like not one time. And they're like, that's bullshit. And it takes them a while. She had to meet you. Remember? She had to meet, now she loves Kindly. She just did not believe that Kindly and I were just friends. Yeah. And like, it's hard for people to believe because we're always together that it's like that. But it's like when I try to explain to the guys, they're like, why are you friends with all these girls? I'm like, do you know what it's like going to a club with Kindly Myers? Like every girl comes up and starts talking to you. Do you know what it's like going to a club with fucking Kaylan Franca? Like you don't do Kaylan, like go ahead.
But there's also so much we can learn one from another.
Of course.
And it's so sad that people think that when you are a friend with a man, or if man is a friend with a woman, all they can do together is have some type of sexual relationship.
No, that's not what they're worried about. They're worried about the woman. This is just from the man's standpoint. Right. They're worried about the woman taking advantage of the man. Does that make sense?
Oh, you feel like...
No, I don't. My best friend's a female. Like, no, I don't feel that way at all. The thing is that, like, but it wasn't a situation where, like, I was hitting on Kaylan and then she put me in the friend zone and then we're friends. It was never like that. Yeah. Well, the way it was with all my female friends is I treated them like a dude. Like, what up, bro? Let's go watch football. She's a Kansas City Chiefs fan, right? And so, like, let's watch football together, whatever. Like, we had things in common. Like, Lizzy and I have been on a million photo shoots and we've been out of the country together, a bunch of stuff like that. Why is that? Like, we're friends, like, and we're just friends. But like at the same time, I also know that, like, because Lizzy happens to be really funny. She's not telling the story. She tells us behind the off camera. But Lizzy's really funny, and so is Kindly. And like hanging out with them, and then being like, man, I think that girl's cute. Lizzy is the best fucking person in the world to know if you're a dude and you like a girl. She's incredible. And like a lot of guys don't understand, the best wingman you can have is like a girl who understands women. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like there is a lot we can actually learn from each other and, you know, benefit from the friendship.
Remember I told you before, like every girl should have a guy friend who's like a complete man whore. and so she gets all the game from him, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. You actually learn. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you're not sleeping with a guy, but he just tells you.
I love it. Like, I love to listen to them.
Yeah, for sure. Stories. Because you learn. And like I've said before, guys should have one female friend who's just like sending messages to 7 dudes at the same time and lets you see all of them.
Always had actually guy friends, right?
Absolutely.
I do.
Yeah, I have more male friends than female friends. And surprisingly, you know, the last couple gentlemen that I've dated never had jealousy issues, never even for a second, even in the beginning, right away. I think it's because right away, when we're still getting to know each other, they're seeing me out with like Michael and my friends, and right away they see the vibe, they see the energy, and right away, like any kind of inhibitions or possible jealousy goes out the window because they see for themselves, oh, it really is just a bro, like whatever. You have to see it for yourself.
Now, to be fair, the reason why, like most of my guy friends could not be friends with you guys because you're too attractive. For me, what helped was me I've done 58 bikini competitions. Like I've just been around beautiful women for the last 13 years. I'm the host of the Maxim Party. So because of that, it's been very easy for me to be friends with really attractive women. And I think it's confusing for some of them too, because like some of my female friends are like, when is he going to hit on me? I'm like, I'm cool. And then they meet my girlfriend and they're like, God damn, that's your girlfriend? I'm like, yeah, it's my girlfriend. And they're like, they don't understand. And then until they see my girlfriend, they're like, oh, okay, I understand. But if I had got back from a 15-month deployment in Iraq, it would be hard for me to have really attractive female friends. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. I remember when I got back from like 9 months out in Iraq and Afghanistan, and I went and talked to this one girl at a club, and I was like, blah, 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 blah. I was like, and my buddies were like, how'd you do? I was like, yeah, man, I did great. She liked me. I did really good. She thought I was hot. That's pretty amazing. So let me ask you guys an interesting question. We're just talking about the dudes here. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but some of the men in Las Vegas take steroids. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this before, and I'm just curious, have you guys ever dealt with anything like this, seen a difference? And some of the guys here are just fucking super ripped. Now, some of them are on steroids. Some of them are just like natural, but they just have really incredible physiques. But have you noticed any difference when a guy is like on stuff, off stuff? Have you ever had any issues with that?
Well, I met someone like that he was doing, but it looked great, for me. When before, I never dated someone, trainer or anything like that. Yeah. But because I always thought that people with muscles, they were, I don't know, I don't want to say it, but I always thought like guys with like muscles and stuff, like it wouldn't work. Like,
oh yeah, I've heard that too. Yeah, deck,
and I never wanted to. But then I learned that it does work.
Oh, honey, that's not. Yeah, it's quite the opposite.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it depends.
Really?
What,
I guess TRT.
When the cycle is. Yeah, like what.
So you're talking like excessive amounts of deca or trenbolone may cause people eventually to like they have an issue with the plumbing.
It's all very individual.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
it's very individual. Oh.
For me, like I dated someone who I think it was just the TRT, which is natural, but like I could always tell. I'm like, you just had your shot today, didn't you? Because much more energy, higher sex drive, all of that, But and they weren't even like buff or anything. It's just especially as you get older, it helps in many ways.
I'm actually on TRT because I need it. Yeah. My levels were so low.
I remember you said that you were dangerously low testosterone.
Yeah, and I didn't know anything, but a friend of mine.
Yeah, your TRT is different from my TRT.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. I was so low in energy, sex drive, just everything. And then when I got my blood work done, they told me that my level was like 10. Normally, a girl is like 190. Yeah. They're like, yeah, you're like an 80-year-old lady, like in your.
And that's something a lot of women don't understand. We all have testosterone and estrogen. So even as women, we're supposed to have a certain level.
Here's a big one. Women have more testosterone than estrogen. They just don't have as much testosterone as men. So a lot of people think because men have 17 times more testosterone than women on average. They think that, women are going to have more estrogen and testosterone. No, women still have more testosterone than estrogen, nanograms per deciliter or whatever, but it's not nearly as much. So just for like, women are like, what you said before, like 20 to 100, somewhere around there. And men on the low end will be 200. We're talking total test up to 900 with total test, like naturally. Yeah. And then when they get on gear, they might get up to 1,500 or 2,000, their total test. Which
I felt it when I got the TRT. Actually, it was so funny because for like almost a year, I was not like, my energy was so low, sex drive, and I was so worried about it. So when I got the injection, I was like, okay, so when is it gonna work? And I called my doctor. She's like, yeah, soon. Just you gotta feel it.
How long did it take for you?
2 months.
Yeah, about week 10, I thought I could fucking kill someone.
And I was like,
holy shit! Oh my god, bro! I thought I could like.
You know how? Yeah. I was in Cozumel with Kylie, and we're like just laying down by the pool, and I was just going through like Instagram, just pictures and stuff, and I was like, just looking, And then I saw this guy. Just suddenly, I just saw him, and then I was like, "Oh, what?" Like I felt
flushed.
So yeah. And then I told Kylie, I feel it. I felt it. She's like, "What are you talking about?" Oh my god, this is crazy. And then it's been great.
It was 2 months after you had the shot.
Yeah.
Yes,
it takes about 2 months before the level of serum is going to change. So testosterone not only does it regulate libido, but it also regulates this thing called protein synthesis. This is the reason why people, when men are in their 50s, they have a harder time when they eat the same amount of food and lift the same amount. They're still going to get fatter because their body doesn't produce as much protein synthesis. If you take TRT, and then furthermore, like stack it with Anavar or whatever, then you can conduct protein synthesis. And this is when you'll see people with terrible diets and they'll still be super fucking ripped because they'll be doing this because it takes every single calorie you have and it'll put that into muscle growth. Now, it doesn't mean you're going to look great. And in fact, I've seen a lot of guys, they'll take a 300 stack of testosterone and stack it with Anavar and they look normal. Wow. These are like skinny Indian men. And they'll take fucking they'll take like Anavar and testosterone.
Well, they need to work out.
And they'll work out and they but they don't look like they're on steroids. They look normal. They just look like they don't look like an ectomorph anymore. They look like a mesomorph. They actually and they actually look good, but they don't look like a bodybuilder. Most people that take steroids look normal. It's really, I was 2 weeks ago, do you guys know Derek, More Plates, More Dates, and Greg Duchette? Have you ever seen the fitness guy, Greg Duchette, on YouTube? He's like the biggest fitness dude on YouTube. I had him on 2 weeks ago, and he was talking about, I was like, most people who take steroids just look normal. Mm-hmm. Like the guys with great genetics, they look like fucking Michael Hearn. Right, Michael Trent. Sorry.
Well, it's also your whole regimen, right?
Yeah.
Like your routine. Like people think that you're gonna take something and it's gonna make you look like a god. It's not that. It's again the full package. Like you want to look certain way. Like you need to do this and this and this and that. And you know when if in our background, bodybuilding and professional bodybuilding. That's a topic what even professional bodybuilders are actually talking about very openly these days.
So you saw Jay Cutler come on my show.
Because it used to be a taboo, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
you're allowed to do that when you compete, right? You're
allowed
not.
To.
No, in someone.
It's against to take Masteron, to take Equipoise, to take Trembolone is illegal.
What about TRT though?
TRT's fine, but like nobody like. It's going to be really hard, even if you're a bodybuilder, to get a reputable doctor to give you a stack of 500 mgs a week. Like, I don't know any doctor that's going to do that. I'm not saying you can't get 500 mgs a week. You can, one trip to Tijuana, you can get 500 mgs a week, right?
I believe the pro division is actually open. There is no testing.
No. Again, there's no testing. Masteron is a federal crime. Like, you can't. Right. It is against the law to own Equipoise.
About, like, TRT for sure. And like all those values, you know.
Deca wins.
But again, it's not going to work if you're not going to actually work out and you know and have your sleep and have your nutrition and all that. So it just doesn't work like that.
Yeah. Have you noticed difference when you've dated someone who's been cycled on and off?
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
You ever? Yeah.
I just give you a smile.
Yeah, you just give me a smile. That's it. Have you noticed any difference? Have you ever been to the gym and you can tell when a dude's just like cycled up?
Chlapi sú na steroidoch a von so steroidov. Any crazy? Not really.
Not really.
No.
I've just.
We don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, good. That's good. Awesome. Sounds good. That sounds great. No, I meet some guys and they're just like, especially here in Vegas, I'll go to some of the gyms and they're just trying to sell me everything, bro. And they're so crazy, bro. I'm like, I work at home and I'm a podcaster and I don't need trend. Thank you though, man. I appreciate it, bro.
Oh, they come up to you at the gym?
Yes, bro. No. There's a dude who lives. There's a dude who lives in my gym right. There's a dude who lives in my building right now, and he comes up to me and goes, "Hey, what's up, buddy?" And he goes like this to my butt, like he does this. He's
what?
He's trying to sell.
Care anymore.
No. So Jay Cutler comes on my show and he straight up says 6 or 12 IUs of HGH per day. He was taking He was taking Equipoise, Trembolone, like right before he would go on stage, and he just told me the whole stack that he was. It was some crazy number, and then 500 milligrams of testosterone per week.
Wow.
I was talking to an influencer recently who's also a bodybuilder, and I'm not going to say who his name is. He's doing 1,000 tren and 1,000 tests a week. Bro.
How does it look? Like he looks
bald. Just like he looks terrific, but he is the veiniest. Wow. And he told me, he's like, they stuck a needle in my arm that they couldn't even get the blood out.
Oh my
God. It was like, I'm not long for this world. But he just loves that shit, bro.
What the heck?
And the thing is like getting on TRT, like I get it. Like I didn't get it before, but I know why these dudes take it, because it's one of these things where it's like, it's not just that you get bigger muscles and girls look at you. It's like you get injured and then like it heals faster.
And you just feel better.
Yes, you just it's one of these things where like you remember a couple girlfriends ago that you know, there was a situation where I was just like, I loved her, but I wasn't that interested in us like being together. Like I didn't want to drive all the way to her place to go have sex with her. And when I started taking TRT, it was like, I will drive fucking 2.5 hours. I don't even, to go on a date. I will drive to fucking Los Angeles to go. Like, it was crazy. Like, all of a sudden, the colors got more colorful. And the fucking world.
You should be on it, too.
And the thing.
It's good. It's natural. It's just,
so your hair doesn't grow and stuff on your face?
I have laser.
No.
I have laser. I don't
you
know.
You didn't have hair grow on your face, did you? No.
I have laser, but no, I don't think.
No, I don't think so, no.
Just,
and it won't lower your voice.
If there's some anabolics you can take that will lower your voice. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't need that.
I don't take
but not.
And again, like with everything, balance.
Yes,
right?
with balance. Yeah.
I take so little, like nothing.
What I'm saying is what he was saying. If I don't think you need it, but if your levels were super low, then you could take it to get to a certain level.
Yeah.
The problem is it works so well that afterwards you just get this feeling like, what if I just did more? And this is more of a man problem than a woman problem.
Yeah.
Women are like, they still want to look feminine. You know, girls can take way too much and their obliques get too big, and then all of a sudden they don't have a fucking waist anymore. They get fucking too big right here, right? So that's the problem. Women don't want to do that, right? So that's why they'll take like 5 mgs of Anavar, whereas a guy will take 50 a day, right? So there's a difference when it comes to that. But like for men, what'll happen is a guy, and you guys have seen this before, a guy will start doing a cycle of trend, and girls will look. They'll be like, wow. They'll see him. He'll go to Wet Republic, and he'll take his shirt off, and girls will stop and look, and he'll notice that, and he'll get attention from a girl who never gave him attention before. That'll happen. But so what he thinks is, if I take twice as much, I'll get twice as much attention. You see what I'm saying? But it doesn't work like that, because there's a certain point. There's these surveys.
It
Go
works
ahead.
like with every addiction.
Yes, for sure. There's a survey done by evolutionary psychologists where they go what they think the ideal physique for a man and a woman is. So for a woman, let's just say from 1 to 10, 10 being like ultimate, like super muscular or whatever, and 1 being like a twig. And then for men, same thing. 10 being Arnold Schwarzenegger, and then 1 being like a twig, right? 1 being like Machine Gun Kelly. So they would go and they would ask the women, what physique do you think men want, and what physique it's like, what physique do you think the men want? And then they would ask the men, what physique do you like the best? Women thought men wanted twiggy, a 1, skinny as fuck, Bo Derek, no ass. That's what women thought men wanted. And the men would select Kim Kardashian, at tits and ass. Like they would select
like fake stuff.
Yeah, not even fake, but just like fit
curves.
The track star with a boob job. Like that's what they wanted, right? And so women thought that men wanted women to be skinnier. Then they surveyed the men and they say, what physique do you think women want? And they picked Schwarzenegger. And it turned out to be Brad Pitt in Fight Club. The women would prefer, women wanted men who were more muscular than average, but not as muscular as a bodybuilder. And so, but no, again, if you're a bodybuilder, there's a certain group of women who are just going to flock to you. Just like if you have tattoo sleeves, whenever I meet guys who have like ink on both arms, like they don't have to like work to get women. There's a subset of women that are really into that, and they're just like, pew, like that.
Listen,
I 100%.
No, I
I
recently watched this series. I don't know if it was Netflix or whatever it was. My 600-pound life.
Yes.
Every single of these obese women have a relationship.
I know.
So you tell me like there are a women who want just bodybuilders and like a veiny dudes and whatnot. There are men who just want really obese women too.
So let me say,
so there is I always said there is a shopper for like, or there's a buyer for like every sale or whatever I say.
Let me say this. I don't think the guys want an obese woman. What I think is that because 1/3 of men have no chance in short-term dating, these men are settling for an obese woman. No, she's gonna go pee. That's fine. So what's happened is a really interesting stat. So on dating apps, 83% of the right swipes go to the top 20% of men, which means the bottom 17% of men or the bottom 80% of men are competing for 17% of women. The top 40% of right swipes go to 96% of men. I'm sorry. The top 40% of men get 96% of right swipes, meaning if you're in the bottom 60% on a dating app, you get 4% of the right swipes. Wow. So then they would do these other surveys. 1/3 of men under 24 have had 0 sex. They're virgins. Men under 30, it was something like, I want to say, at one point it was like 28% of men had not had sex in the last year. There's a group of men at the bottom, Nikola, who get nothing. You don't even notice them. If they walk by you, and I asked you, do you see that guy? You wouldn't even see him. Like they don't exist to women. And the problem is the 5'5" Filipino cashier at Walmart that you didn't even remember existed. He would date a 600-pound woman. That's the difference. I don't think he wants to, though. That's where I see it's like there's a level of desperation for men at the bottom that I think most women don't recognize exists.
Well, I also feel like there is a level of desperation for like a really good-looking woman wants an actual normal man who
For
has
sure.
it right in the head.
Okay, but
That's-
could, but
that's what
could,
I want.
but it
There-
could.
That's what I want.
There isn't
Yeah.
always
Okay,
that.
but hold on, let me ask you a question. So, how tall would you want your man to be, Lizzy? 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
6'2"?
No more than 6'2".
I'm 6'1". You want a guy who's 6'2"?
No, 6 between 6 and 6'2".
6 and 6'2". Got
Yeah.
it. How much money do you want him to make?
I don't care much about that. Like, you know, I want them to work. I want them to have a job, but not, you know, maybe same as me. I don't know, maybe a little more.
But more than $100,000 a year?
Maybe 100. Yeah, more.
Nikola,
Yeah.
how tall would you want a guy to be?
I wouldn't even start with the height.
You don't care at all?
I'm not saying I don't care. Obviously, if you,
He'd be taller than you.
well, I would, yeah.
Yeah.
He can be.
How tall are you?
5'6",
Okay.
which is not that tall.
For a woman, you're tall. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like the average guy in the United States, how tall do you think he is? How tall do you think the average guy in the United States is?
Big, hot, tall man.
She's
Yeah.
saying what she wants. You
Yeah.
know?
By the way, Norway, they're actually taller. Like
she
there's certain
has it.
places.
Ale že presne toto, jak je môj muž, že vysoký, veľký.
Yeah, she got it. Like her
Typ.
husband is exactly super tall, super buff, you know,
Yeah.
but like the healthy way, like not the crazy way. So
Okay.
yeah.
So
What's the average here, the height?
5'9". The average North American man, the average American man,
But
5'9".
would I give a chance
To a guy's 5'9"?
to a shorter guy
Yeah.
who has a good game or who is actually approaching me with something different than I'm
Yeah.
used to? Absolutely.
Okay.
I done. Yeah, I
Absolutely.
dated short
Okay.
guys.
How,
yeah.
how,
I
how tall
would.
do you want
Yeah.
your man to be?
I've never put a number on it,
Yeah.
but I am a tall woman. I'm 5'9", so I know some guys like taller women. They have no problem with the women towering over them in heels. Good on you. It's not my thing. I don't want to be taller than my man. I think also because I am kind of have masculine tendencies, I really need a really masculine man, or
Yeah, me
I will
too.
fall into that really masculine
But there
woman.
can be a 6'6" guy who is just a pussy.
Oh no,
you know,
absolutely. But it's
that's what
also
I'm
the
saying.
feeling of, can you throw me over your shoulder? Can you put me in my place? You know, like that. I
Like,
the
Nikola,
physical
like Nikola
part.
can do with you.
I mean, if she wants to try.
or me for that matter.
Physically, she's.
You guys don't
me,
understand.
for
Nikola's
sure.
strong as shit.
No,
You guys don't
I'm
understand.
just saying, like, we keep talking about the looks, and I just keep, like, trying to turn it to, like, okay, but what's
Yeah,
behind
hold
the
on,
looks?
time out. Well, what I'm telling you
know?
though is that you don't get to that point unless they have a minimum of looks to even allow you to get to that point.
But I also have a minimum of looks, you know? So
Yeah, but could
kind of,
you-
like, want to match with your person, too.
We all know that.
And that's, again,
Nikola
comes-
keeps acting like she's not Nikola.
And that's
You understand what I'm saying?
again-
It's
no,
like
and
it's like
that's again
Shaq.
coming-
It's like
what-
Nikola is like Shaq telling us how to be taller. Like, but you're still you.
Okay, yeah. But,
So your standard. I'm not talking about
but
in
it-
general, but your standards can be different because you're you.
yeah, but I'm also the hardest on myself. So, like,
Okay,
be hard, you know?
we're going to be real hard on all of us real quick because we're going to go to the calculator right now. We're going to look at the U.S. We're going to look at the demographic of the entire United States of America, and we're going to see how many men exist that are the way
I
that you
did
guys
it.
like. You've done this before. What is your what is the age the age range that you'd like? And just in general, you happen to be single. What age range would you like a guy to be?
Vekovo, že ako by si chcela chlapa.
Tak, jak mám, 4 roky mladší.
Her husband is actually 4 years younger than she is.
Okay.
So yeah, she's like, I'm great where I'm at.
Is there a 10-year gap like where you say this is a good age, like 35 to 45?
I have 34.
Yeah, she's
and
34 and he's 30.
30.
Okay.
So yeah, that works for her, right?
Okay.
We usually want someone who is older until we get to that age. You know, I also liked before like guys who are like 10 years older because like
Yeah.
it comes with maturity and all
too,
that,
yeah.
you know, and I didn't have I didn't
You're
have
welcome.
a problem with that.
You're welcome.
But in the same time, I'm 33 right now, and like, yeah, I would say like between 30 if he is mature and he knows what he wants, you know, to let's
30.
say 43. But it also older they get, more baggage they bring.
A lot of-
It's
yeah.
not just the wisdom.
Here,
it's
come on with the baggage. Everyone's
like-
pointing at me. Andrea, how old do you think I am? Just out of curiosity.
Koľko si myslíš, že má rokov?
32?
32? Yeah, I'm 32. By the way, there's a video.
Is it TRT?
There's a video. Okay, so next Thursday, there's a video I'm going to play where a guy goes after me. He comes after me. And one of the things I express, I'm 46. So I express that I'm 46 and my girlfriend's 22. She's 24 years younger than me. And I was like, well, I'm not telling everyone to be with someone 20 years younger than you. It's hard. In a vacuum, I wish Kylie and I weren't that far apart. But we are, because she's perfect in the way that she is. It doesn't matter. I like her in spite of the fact that the age difference is so much. And same thing with me. The point I'm trying to make is part of it. I go, hey man, I don't really act and look like I'm 46. And he goes, no, bro, you act like you look like you're fucking 46. And I'm like, dude, you look like you're 55. If I look, I'm 46. So anyway, I just wanted to bring that up. I'm going to make a clip of this. Thank you. So the age group, would you say? So how about 30 to 45? Would that work?
Yes, but over 40, I would ask like, are you divorced? How many kids you have? What's your relationship with your baby mama? Like that's all the questions you need to ask. Like more, like older you get, more questions are coming. With
Okay.
It
Yeah.
Okay.
For me.
Yeah, I don't have kids. I've never been married. All right.
But then if you are 46 and you don't have a kid and you've never been married, what's wrong with you?
You're asking the right question. You're asking the right question. Listen right now. She's figured it out. She sees the red flags. Good job. All right. What's the upper limit though? Like 46, 42? What do you say?
Let's say 45.
45. Okay. So we're going to go 30 to 45. Anybody else have a different answer there for age? 30 to 45. Would that work for you?
Well, I'm 38. I think I would be best with someone 40 to 45, but who knows? I could meet someone 37, 38 who's more mature than 40-years-olds I know. Age is nothing but a number, but from my experience, most men don't hit real maturity until late 30s, early 40s.
Okay, so wait, hold on. So this is a completely different discussion. But when we have the discussion about a woman being like 25 wanting to date a 35-year-old man, I get disgust. I get insults, people telling me I'm a worthless piece of shit and I'm grooming women because I might want to date someone who's 15 years younger than me. Right? It's crazy to me. So you guys understand, like you said, men don't mature. Correct. Men get their most right swipes at 38 on dating apps. Women get the most right swipes between 23 and 25. It's like, am I crazy? Like, I agree with you. I'm saying the same thing. All right. So, age.
I'm 33, so I will go no more than, 38. I've done older. I just don't want to do that anymore.
Okay, hold on a second.
I think it's so individual these days. Like, it's how
People
you carry yourself. Like, what's your life story? Like, where you came from?
I
what's
dated
your
so
culture?
many different type of like ages.
Yeah,
ranges,
like how you care for yourself. That's also.
Yeah.
Oh, no. We're going to get to all that, but we got to start with initial demographics first. We're going to exclude married men. Is that correct? Does anyone care?
I know what you're about to do. You're about to show us the itty bitty pool
No, I have no idea.
that we're fishing in.
Yeah, possibly.
I know what you're going to do.
And that's okay because we are also the itty bitty pool. Only woman who can
I don't
do it
disagree.
all.
0.00.
Okay, so I don't disagree. So you want to exclude married men? We're going to exclude married men?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised how many women say I exclude married men while they're dating married men. They just don't know. By the way, if you want to know you're dating a married man, it's really easy. He's the one that you're dating who tells you he's too busy to have an Instagram. That's a married man that you're dating. You just didn't know. He tells you things like, I'm so busy to have social media. I'm not like your fucking friends. And meanwhile, they know everything that's on your social media because they have social media because they're married with kids and they don't want you to know about it.
Private account.
For race, I'm just going to do any race for right now.
Never happened to me. And
Happened to me.
It's never going to happen to me.
Okay, minimum height. You said 6 feet. You said 6 feet.
6 feet.
6 feet. Okay.
No, I wouldn't say that.
What do you say? 5'10"?
She's
We have to have a
5'6",
we have to have a 5'9". We have to have a number, honey.
Okay. I mean, if dream come true, about 6.
6 feet. Okay.
Yeah, but
are we going to exclude?
But you would accept shorter.
But
so
I would accept shorter.
We can do we can do
Yeah.
5'10". You want to do 5'10"?
She's 5'6", so yeah, 5'10"
Okay.
will be
Cool.
good.
Do you want to exclude obese men? Is anyone here you would date?
Yes.
Maybe. Okay. Cool.
Obese? No.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Got it. Okay. Minimum income. What do you think the average guy in the United States makes?
I don't want to be a sugar mama, damn it.
Beautiful. What do you think the average guy in the United States makes?
The average 50,000,
What do you think?
maybe less.
40.
But
40? What do you think?
I was about to say 38,000, like
Yeah.
after.
it's like 30.
Same.
It's crazy. Most times we have this when I ask what the average guy makes, and I have girls in here, they're saying $200,000-$300,000. No, the answer is about $51,000. Isn't that crazy? Yeah. If you make $32,000 a year, you're in the top 1% of wage earners on Earth.
Wow.
On Earth.
Crazy.
If half the Earth's population lives on less than $5 a day, Like people do not understand how good they have it. So what's the minimum that you'd want for a boyfriend though? How much would he have to make?
A little more than me, so maybe more than
600,000.
Maybe yeah. Maybe something like that.
Trying to talk to the IRS for you. Sorry. How much?
I'm just gonna 100,000.
100,000. There we go. What do you think?
Honestly, I think if you don't have kids and baby mamas and child support and it's just you, a man can have a fine place to live and still the activities I like to do at 70, 80K a year. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll average that out.
I make my own money. I've always taken care of myself, so that's never really been like a top priority.
By the way, I will say this though, like when people are married and the man loses his job is one of the 3 top leading indicators for divorce. What would you?
Wait, can you repeat that?
So so they go over reasons for divorce. So about 70 to 80% of divorces are initiated by women, and the reason for divorce is men losing their jobs is in the top 3. Actually, infidelity was in the top 3, but number 1 was like men not. It was lack of compassion or lack of I forgot what it was from men. It was like, but I think it was an all-encompassing sort of like all this stuff works. It included him getting fat, him losing a job, all this stuff like coming together. Most women are not going to admit they left their husband because he got fat. So like that wasn't even like up there, even though that does happen. The minimum height.
We just talk about it. Since you were asking about the money, we are talking all like the best scenario case, right? Like hypothetically.
Yeah.
But one kind of excludes others because someone can give you something and then it kind of like covers the other thing.
What would
right?
you
so you're like trying to like box us out and you're getting like mad at me right now because
I'm not
like,
mad.
I don't want to play the game, but it's so individual. Like you.
No, I just need a minimum number. I don't need. I understand there's a spectrum, but like, what's the minimum number? You can talk about what your like ideal is also.
Then we would go with what girls said as
100,000.
Well, that's what.
Okay, we'll
it's
do
enough to be able to take me on a date.
We'll
here
do
and
90,000.
pay
If
your
they don't have
bills.
kids.
That's what I care about.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Like we just don't want to provide for our husband. Like that's
Yeah.
I do think that most women do want the man to make slightly more than they do at least. So they do feel like he is a stability, a sense of stability, security, that sort of thing. No matter how badass of a woman we are and how independent business owner, doesn't matter. You still, if you're going to feel that connection with a man where you're the woman and he's the man, I do think that it does make a difference. If you know
of course.
that if you lost your job, he could take care of you if it happened.
For sure. But on the other side, we also believe that woman should be that person who like keeps that nest nice and warm, like
I'm going to clip this and send this to Kayla.
This is
great. Keep talking.
So and I feel like we live in this time when like women have a lot of expectations from a man and like all these like podcasts and whatever you see the girls being like, well, I want him to take me to dates and I want him to take me to, and what you do for that household and how you are contributing to that family, and that's something and I'm probably gonna get a bunch of hate from the girls right now, but this is the cultural clutch.
All the guys are gonna love you.
This is the cultural clutch as well.
Like I love to take care of my men too. Like I love to cook for them.
I think we're all very traditional.
Yeah,
I love
to work,
taking care of my man. The last, the gentlemen I've, dated in my last 15 years of my life were all entertainers that are getting home at midnight or later, and I have a meal for them, on the table, and I clean, and I even though. I've never had this thing where I'm out there working, so you should be doing all that. I'm I enjoy being the woman.
Me too.
Absolutely.
But I can be very independent, but I love to be the woman.
Well, like you guys would do great on Fresh and Fit. They would love the fuck out of you guys. What are you talking about? You want to take care of your man? Yes, it's incredible.
Absolutely.
Yes.
You take care of each other.
Or maybe kind of like vice versa too. Like men are like, oh, you want a man who like makes more money than you do and take care of you? And then I would ask them too, well, do you want her be nice and smiley when you come home? Do you want your meal cooked? Do you want your... So I don't want to use a word trait, but it is in a way trait.
Of course it's a trait.
It's a team.
It's teamwork in order to... It's teamwork in order to create a place for offspring.
But
you
have to want it.
Right.
If as a woman you don't like to cook and clean and you don't want to take care of a man, it's not going to work out. You have to want it. You have to thoroughly enjoy it. It
makes me happy to see them with the food and everything.
And then you expect them to treat you like a queen. queen, but you're not treating them like a king. It seems so simple, but.
All right, guys, here we go. Not married, any race, at least 5'10", not obese, and making at least $90,000 a year.
We didn't say 90, we said 70.
No, they said we averaged it out because they said all three of them said 100. Making at least $90,000 a year. What percentage do you think that is?
0.000.
What do you think the percentage is?
2%.
I would say 0.6%.
Interesting.
No, it's below 1 because you said that there is a 1% of.
Yeah.
What do you think?
1%.
Yeah, it's 1.4, and the reason why is because you guys chose the guys.
2.
The reason why you guys it was high. It's actually incredibly high for usually when we do these. Is because
5'10".
no, it's because you said 5'10" and because you said $90,000 a year.
Yeah.
So if you were
I dated short guys. Like,
if you're
I
6
don't
feet
mind.
tall, that's 17% of the population. If you make $100,000 a year. That's 14. I'm sorry. If you're 6 feet tall, that's 14% of the population. You make $100,000 a year, that's 17% of the population. It's not 17% plus 14%. It's 17% times 14%, which is 2.3% of men are over 6 feet tall and make $100,000
So
a
it
year.
means that our guys out there somewhere.
Yes. What you're saying, there's a chance.
Yes.
You're saying there's a chance.
Lizzy's like, so there is a chance.
So happy about that.
What I heard.
There's a chance. Anyway, I hope you guys can come on Access Vegas. I think it would be great. You should bring your husband on. I think that'd be like absolutely terrific.
I think you would love that.
Sit there and talk with Rollo. You can engage with the audience.
Fast.
I'm very fast?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
My head is.
He is.
My head has been. I listen to audiobooks at triple speed, which is why I talk so
No
fast.
way.
Yeah, that's the reason why. Awesome. Well, we went through all that kind of stuff. Can you go over your business? Like, what are you doing now? Are you just modeling? What are you doing?
Yeah, well, I was doing modeling, and then I started working out a lot. And myself, when I started working out, I just didn't know what to do at the gym. I was just lost. I didn't know which exercises, and I was just doing whatever, and I never saw any changes. So I got this idea of opening a website to help new people like at the gym, like people that they don't know what to do. So I have a new app. It just launched like 2 weeks ago, and it's for people that wants to learn how to work out. It's literally, I will tell you what to do at the gym. Like, you will log in, I will ask you questions of if you want to gain muscle, lose body fat, all these things, and then you logged in. And it will tell you which workouts to do or how many reps, the weight.
Is it an app or a website or what?
Now it's an app. Yeah, it was for 8 months. And
Do you make videos?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, my app, you logged in and it's me on the exercises.
That's awesome.
You press, you play my video and it will tell you what.
You know what I tell you? You should include a Zoom call with all your clients at the same time. I think you should do that.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you
Do
more
Q&A.
about like business-wise
Yeah,
because I'm
100%.
very, very new to
Get
this.
a business account with Zoom. Invite them all on, and then you could actually, if you wanted to, set up cameras to where you could do a workout in front of them or whatever, but like do a live Q&A where every question is answered for like 2 hours.
I like that.
That's what I do with my clients, and then you can have an upsell like at the end. You have like a CTA at the end.
Yeah,
That's what I do.
And now I kind of now I want to help a woman. Like
Okay.
before, because I have all these followers, guys. I was
Yeah.
like, okay, I'm gonna try to get all these guys like clients, but I was like, no, like I want women. I want to help them.
Yeah.
And guys are welcome too, but
Yeah.
mostly I want women. I want to help them. I want to get them, get them healthy and stuff like that.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. What are you up to now, Kaylan?
The same.
Yeah?
Nothing's really
Are you
changed.
managing any bands or like any movie stars or any like?
So I don't actually manage where I'm their only manager. I'm just an agent, which means, other agents can book them as well. But I do book bands nationally. I have a really great all-star band that's made up of known musicians from successful bands, and we are just killing the corporate entertainment circuit right now. There's a lot of really good money in corporate entertainment. And I actually, 20 years ago, if you would have asked me what I would be when I grow up, I thought I was going to be the tour manager of a rock band because I'm really good at babysitting adults. And
That's
I
true.
love music and appreciate music. And then when I moved to Vegas, there's not a real big, original music scene here. Everything is corporate. Everything's covers. Everything's tributes. And it's fine, and there's good money in it. And my life is exciting because we do all aspects of it. So we have models, dancers, singers, musicians. And so never a dull moment. Every gig is different. And I love that and appreciate that. And it brought these lovely women into my life as well, because I saw their talent and wanted them on my team.
And you'll book like fire breathers and and
absolutely.
What's it called? Blackjack dealers and all this stuff.
Absolutely, poker dealers, magicians. I mean, you name it. Showgirls. We do it all. We even have hair and makeup teams. We have videographers. We stylists,
impersonators.
Impersonators and tribute artists is a big market for that here. And we book the best of the best, not the street performers, but like the ones who star in their own shows and travel internationally.
Yeah. Have you ever seen Max Major? Do you know who he is? The magician.
It sounds familiar.
I'm gonna introduce you to him.
Here, is he?
He is here.
Oh,
he walks around
okay.
Fremont. He hypnotizes people on
I've seen
Fremont.
him.
He's fucking incredible. The guy's amazing. I got to introduce you to him.
Yeah, send him.
Yeah, for sure.
Send me his stuff.
Nikola, where can we find you? What are you up to?
We are definitely about leveling up in every single way, personally and work-wise as well, and creating something beautiful together. But we are definitely about unity.
Okay.
And support one to other.
Yeah.
That's where we at. And sky's the limit, Michael. You know me.
Listen, I scream at my clients and shit. So I'm excited that somebody's about unity because I'm an asshole.
Do you think you guys will have an app, like a Gaia app?
When I say sky's the limit, we are literally going to listen to all people who want to be listened to. And if someone wants us to do something, we will do it for them. So that's why, what does it mean when I'm saying we're building a community? We're going to have workshops and podcasts and seminars and all this, supporting the products and supporting the idea of Gaia, that we don't even know where this is going to go, but we know in our core and in our bones that it's going to be great and huge. And that's something I'm wholeheartedly standing behind.
Can we give some love to my necklace? It's a
Yeah,
Gaia
all of us.
necklace.
Oh, this is a Gaia necklace. I was wondering where all this positive energy in the room was coming from.
Can you tell them
I was
that
so.
I got this
I thought that
for
I
my
could.
birthday.
Isn't it?
Thank you.
Isn't it crazy? I thought that she could levitate there for a second. I was like wondering what was going on. All of a sudden, my sciatica went away. It was
little bird.
one of the
Give some
craziest
love
things.
To Pepe,
Yeah.
her bird that's now a necklace.
I know.
I love it.
Awesome.
So
Yeah.
cute.
All right, nice.
Is it actually like
Cockatoo?
made from ashes or?
No.
Oh, 'cause
No,
you
it's-
said 'cause
No, it's
Pepe
a cockatoo.
It's my bird, the one that I
'cause-
have right now.
'cause
Yeah.
There is a company who actually can
Yeah.
make a jewelry
I've seen
from ashes
Yeah,
of your,
I've seen that,
past. But I don't want to finish this talk so sad right now.
No, it's totally fine.
That's
It's
like a-
super
You know,
sad. Let's
but
make
it's-
ashes out of
but
amber.
Hey, it is a part of life.
part
of
too,
life,
you
the
know?
circle of
So
life.
Yeah.
We are here for a good time, guys. So let's make it count.
Let's enjoy it.
Andrea, where can we find you?
With me.
She's my voice.
Yeah,
I am her voice.
Will you spot me on the bench press?
She probably can.
these shoulders
She's
is-
also very strong, very strong.
I can tell you guys are strong as shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's,
and not just physically.
Yes.
So.
Strong mind.
Beautiful. Well, I'm really glad that you guys came on the show. I hope you guys can come on Access Vegas. I'll plan something probably in July, and I'll just be Rolo and like me and the four of us. We'll do that, and maybe we can get some other people to come on because I think it would be good. I'm trying to. So one of the issues is there's a certain type of model that really wants a lot of attention. I won't say what kind, but if I wanted to, I could get 10 girls like that on the show every week. And what I want are mothers, master's degrees, and girls who are married, girls who have W-2s, real jobs, pay taxes, and own businesses. I want more girls like that on my show. And it's hard. And it's not by choice. You have to understand. There's one type of girl that's incentivized to come on every podcast she can because she gets more followers. And so that's the issue. I'm not blaming them. It's just the problem is this whole space has just got flooded with women like that, where they're on Kick or Bigo or whatever, or they're on Twitch and they want to get more subs. True. So anyway, I'm really glad to have you guys come on here. We can talk more. We can talk more about fitness. We can have some funny conversations, and then you guys can talk shit to the people in the chat. That's what I really want you to do. I want Nikola to be like, I could kick your ass. Like that's what I want. That's what I really want. Anyway, thank you guys for coming on.
Thank you.
Really great show. I've been wanting to do something like this. I finally got Kaylan on the show, and I will see all of you guys next week.